Have you thought of breaking through? Ain't it part of what you do? Catch a victim while he's dumb. Break his larynx with your time. And it's time to get high. Well, this ain't no goddamn dream. It's exactly what it seems. Wake up today just to lay back down and say, I won't be coming back. Let's call it a heart attack. Give me some of that knack. This is just a final payback. They all flipped on me, took my passions, left me be. When I had a place to sit, a goddamn attitude to fit. Talk real smooth, knew where to spit. But things have changed and I have quit. Got nothing to look forward to but a backlash full of lies. You're too late for where you're going. This is fate, the whistle's blowing. It's much too late. It's all too late. You're much too late. Like a piss hole punk with his nose turned up and a fragrance all your own. Tell me what it's like to be alone. And let's not forget the Scarface prick who offers fix to your face. He dropped out of the subhuman race. That's sad. Boo-hoo. But I'm goddamn glad that piece of shit was just a fad. Tell me, boy, where were you? What's your story? I mean, really. Where have you been? Was it the big time? And full of sin? Tell me.
And welcome to a brand new life, to a brand new day, all the way from the wastelands of California. My name is Michael, and I am a mere figment of your imagination. I look forward to once again serve you those sounds of salvation. First time listeners, turn on, tune in, and drop out. This is a very different kind of show, a place where you don't feel so alone. Let us chase away the light no matter what you at home choose to believe. I do admire you for your curiosity. Joining me this evening is Mr. Nigel Kerner. Nigel is an author and freelance journalist. His books include The Songs of the Greys and Grey Aliens and The Harvesting of Souls. Kerner explains that genetic manipulation by the Greys has occurred since biblical times and has led to numerous negative qualities that plague humanity to this very day. Who are the Greys? What is their agenda? Hopefully we'll find out tonight, boys and girls. And of course, the fun doesn't stop just there. On the second half, it's Celebrity Deathpool 2020. Definitely don't be shy. We wish you stick around. Vanessa will also be here to help me conjure up the Grim Reaper. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me into your hearts and into your minds. Here we are again on a night like this. Oh yes, I'm all smiles tonight. This will be a bit of a rattlesnake. Hearts will be broken, no doubt. And heat is always around the corner. Happy New Year to all of you listening, those in the chat room. What a fun time to be alive. Some believe World War III is underway, and 2020 has just kicked off with a bang. Those out there new in attendance, you made the right choice being here tonight. Don't let the name confuse you, nor the voice fool you. This is, in fact, the show your mother warned you about. Unbridled and thought provoking. This is what can cause you to drive off a cliff, or maybe be thrown off of one. Sit back and relax. Salvation is here, boys and girls. And don't be shy. You too can get involved. That number is 760-332-8724. One more time, 760-332-8724. Now let's get down to brass tacks and bring in Mr. Nigel Kerner, who I believe has been patiently waiting, and I do apologize. Nigel, are you still out there?
Yes, well, I don't know about up, but I'm still here.
My goodness, thank you so much for being here tonight, and I do apologize for that delay. I got carried away. I got in the character, and I went kind of crazy right there.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
I can't send you a rescue squad, Mike, but you're too far away at the moment. But maybe there's a technology will survive through GPS and artificial intelligence where I can drop you a bouquet of flowers. You know.
Yes, no doubt. And Mr. Kerner, welcome back to End of Days, the Michael Decon program. The last time I talked to you, I had an incredible time, and it was quite a bit ago. So I'm glad you're here tonight. We do have a new audience, Nigel. So I thought we could sort of begin with your introduction. But Nigel, before we even do, it seems like the world is a mess yet again. And the talk of World War III is yet again around the corner, Nigel. And I just wanted your perspective on this since you are out there in the UK. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on all of this. And of course, those around you, what's on their minds as well. Nigel, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. I'm in the Oxfordshire, Northamptonshire countryside of England, and one has that notion that once upon a time the Brits were a moderate kind of people and so forth. But we've recently had some pretty volatile changes in government here too, and a lot of it in a kind of semi-hysterical mode through a mechanism they call Brexit, and not to make too fine a point of judgment on that.
Right.
Yes, everyone's at kind of fever pitch here, Mike, more resolutely than they normally are, and especially at 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
I want the listeners to understand that I'm talking to you at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh my!
First time I've ever attempted this.
Oh, I'm sorry for dragging you
out. Not at all. I mean, I volunteered to come and talk to you guys about whatever. And yes, you're right. We have a bit of a problem now, don't we? I think that this was a self-sought problem, and to my mind, it's not essential, but it is a way that a particular country defends itself by using the behests of other countries very cleverly indeed. And I'm not mentioning any names, but I think a lot of people around the world know who I am pointing to where this is concerned. And I think that whatever happens to Britain, it in its own terms might have sought peace, but I don't think it's done it very efficiently. And so we have now, as the ordinary people always do, have to face the consequences. And let's hope that somewhere along the line, some sense will prevail and this will kind of peter off and so on. However, we are facing a magnitude here in terms of prophecies and all kinds of things made. The good thing is that where prophecies go, Mike, the record has been on our side so far, so all these horrendous things haven't really happened. And one can hope that human goodwill all around the world, it has to be a global thing that everybody gets involved in. And of course, we have the mechanism now with the incredible technologies we have around the world to get from one point to another instantly, that there is some sense of a human family, although there are some people so narrow-minded so formatted, it seems to me, that they have to separate to feel good. And as long as we do that, Mike, we'll be having programs like this talking about situations like that prevails now at the moment and so on. And we'll have politicians who cause these things kind of regurgitated up from the sump of humanity, so to speak, all around the world, without pointing the finger at anyone particularly. And it's no good doing that. Before Mr. Hitler came along,
yes,
the Germans, 1933, actually, at the end of that span, actually voted him in. Something like 93% got this devil in, and there you go. So we can vote devils in, and I'm telling you that the British aren't immune from doing that either.
Definitely. So, Nigel, are you in support of this conflict that's going on?
Well, how can one be, Mike? It's absolutely dreadful. I think this has been done to make sure that a particular country stops all its enemies from being actively able to participate, taking it out, because at the moment that particular country sits in the center of the Middle East and is trying to protect itself from all sides. I think they're doing it wrong. That's my personal opinion. In fact, I think they will get on themselves a Holocaust even worse than the evil of mankind visited on these people some time ago. However, I think we all should rally round and make sure that this precious population of people come to their senses. In other words, to stop the small fraction amongst them seeking what they do, and the rest of them be looked after by the whole of our planet. That might be naive, but if you want my heartfelt feeling about it, that's where I feel I would jump to anyone's rescue if they're under threat. Of course I would, and so would anyone. I like to think do that. But as you say, we cannot take on the peacock throne. This is too big a country to think you can just play games with it. And I don't think Iran deserves what it's getting now in any kind of deleterious sense. I think all the hype that comes up is actually put on by vested interests on the places where information is disseminated in our world. And I think that we have to be careful when we look at these things and take that into consideration. There are vested interests playing this one as their own in most things, but this one particularly. And let's hope the darn thing doesn't go into a storm that we cannot control, or we can somehow intercept the fuse that might be lit before it actually hits the explosive. And like with everyone else, my mental power will be concentrated for the sake of my children and all our children, really, Mike, that something will happen and everyone comes to their senses and we can think again in the cold hard light of day. And that comes I think from one person in England, in Oxford.
Well, it certainly feels like 2003 all over again.
Yeah, will do. History does repeat itself. This is not over. I don't think it'll ever be over. There will always be individuals that scream high dudgeon, so to speak, from within them. They're discontent individuals, and if they become political leaders, we have a problem. They will, in fact, lead too many people against their better judgments. And it's easy in the mystery of the moment. It's so easy to be able to do that. And I think we all should watch this in our own terms. And before we make an announcement or form an idea, try, as a very difficult thing to do, but try as hard as we can to step it out, open it up, and look, and not let ourselves down. Because we're really not letting anyone else down but ourselves when we have an opinion. And that opinion leads to the destruction of humanity. That, I think, is a very, very important thing to bear in mind. And although I am not a religious person, I really am not a religious practicing person in that sense. I do have great heroes, and I think most of them come from a generation beyond anything modern. I'm talking about uh, in modern contemporary sense. And they really are, by and large, the masters of the great faiths who gave us these wonderful messages and beautiful wisdom. And look where they are now. So few
Right.
people devotedly follow their lovely examples. All of them. I'm talking Buddha, I'm talking Jesus Christ, I'm talking the great prophet of Islam, I'm talking uh, the gods, the great God. Well, I don't know what they mean by Brahma in India, but I would say that they have some sense of a large centralized deity where all beautiful custom comes together in a single unit. And every single one of us can kind of draw from it, particularly my generation, and of course the younger generation coming after us.
Yes, Nigel. And we'll jump right back into all sorts of current events in a moment here. But like I told you before we jumped on here, we're going to have a new audience and they will not know who you are. And of course, you are an author of various books, very intriguing material to say the least. Song of the Greys, and I do own a copy of this book. And of course, you also have the book Gray Aliens and the Harvesting of Souls. And you have a very different and interesting perspective. And I sort of came to that conclusion myself about the Greys. I thought we could sort of talk about your book a bit
Oh
here
yeah,
as we go
sure.
along.
Well, I mean, it all started. If you want to know, can I explain it here at this
Definitely,
juncture in
go
the
ahead.
program? Yeah, well, I mean, it all came from a very innocent question uh, that my son asked me when he was 12 years old. He's now 40, 42. And he said, Dad, are these UFO things that seem to be occupying people's minds real? And to be honest, I had some idea of them, a remote idea, but they were about as far away and as amusing to me as Mickey Mouse at the time. And since the boy, he had quite a bit of grey matter between his ears, and I really respected him. He usually come with some very intelligent questions, beautifully thought out, with correct answers, logical answers, and I would end up with egg in my face by taking a shot at answering them. And I'm sure lots of dads know what I'm talking about around the world. However, this thing was actually something that I'd never been actually asked directly, and since my son asked it, I did the cowardly thing and said, "Hang on a minute." His name is Darren. Darren, hang on a minute now. I can't answer you now. The answer is I don't know, but give me a rain check of a week, and I will get back to you and say what I feel about this. I'll read it up and have a look and so on.
Right.
And it caused an absolute storm in my psychology, and I am still reading about it, and I am still within a hurricane trying to figure out what an amazing thing this UFO phenomenon really points to. It it snatches into every purse, it snatches into every heart, and mostly into every mind, I think, on the planet. And most of those minds haven't the faintest idea how pervasive and how powerful this incredible thing is. And we have to really look to the sky, and more than the sky, into the middle of ourselves to be able to deal with this particular thing. And that's why I wrote the books. It's a plea to the new generation, to the little children, hopefully that without sounding too pious, and I'm a mischievous rat or a perverse rat, as I'm usually called, and I quite like being called a perverse rat. I walk around, they tell me with my middle finger stuck up.
I've been called worse, don't worry.
you know, and of course, it's very nice to be kind of intellectual about things and describe things. But I would try to say that my effort is to be as logical and not to fit square pegs into round holes. And my hero, and I tout this around the world every time I speak on online or whatever, right online. I would say that my greatest hero, and I don't know if you've heard of him, Mike, but he's called Professor Humbug.
Matter of fact, I have.
And that rascal, have you? Oh, I congratulate you. And that rascal sits on a fence. Actually, he does. and he can pivot on either side of it. But mostly, I love this man's intellect because he's right down the middle of everything.
Yes, sir. And by the way, does the son, your son, does he still believe?
Oh, he now believes. I mean, I think he has had some kind of affirmatory mechanism. I think that these things ought to be discussed, but I also think they shouldn't be shoved down people's throats. I think we should all look at ourselves and with an open mind look out there. That's what I didn't have. To tell the truth, Mike, I thought when I was asked the question, I have to say, if if the great if there's such a thing as a god up there of your so-called ordinary religion, right? Am standing in front, I would put my hand on heart and say, I didn't believe in UFOs at all. I thought it was a figment of people's imagination,
Right.
and one that was righteously so. But when I opened the Pandora's box, I have to tell you, I'm now 1 billion trillion% convinced that this is very real, and every single human being on the face of the earth should take this for being real, because there's a team so pervasively evil and wicked that is, I think, after the taking out of our human family. Never mind what the politicians try to do, and all these religious zealots try to do. This lot know how to do this. And we have to really look at the features of this as a nation of individuals, and as a huge society or a species of human, and try to make sure that in some sense the great teachers of the past, who one of which, by the way, I'm convinced came here to specifically warn about the UFO phenomenon and its derivation. And I think that was a Christian teacher, Jesus Christ. And I can talk to you about an occasion when he was taken up this high place, whatever it is, that points very markedly to the fact that he also had a UFO experience, if you like, and handled it the best possible way.
I would love to hear about that, but before we do, from my understanding, you had been almost like ambushed by the Catholic Church. Is that true?
I Somebody threw some water on
Yeah, they
me
threw
when I was a baby.
a little bit
Somebody
of
threw
water on
some
you.
water on me when I was a baby, and they called me a Catholic. Well, nobody asked me if I wanted to be one, but then by 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 tacit reference, I was put through all kinds of initiations and ceremonials and all kinds of cants and humbug and rituals and whatever. The Catholics are famous for their rituals. In fact, they fool the whole world on their piety based on some senseless series of rituals that they go through. Well, you can understand from that I didn't really, in spirit, follow so-called Roman Catholicism. I was out of that as quickly as I could in any type of spirit. But I'll tell you what, Mike, I noticed one thing. There was in the center of it this wonderful individual. And I believe absolutely in the power and the wonder of this individual. And that's what I would say. I'm very secular in my views of the Catholic thing. Yes, they don't like what I say about them. I have been very critical and on the side of Martin Luther in his incredible philological expertise when he spotted that the word repent has been used through the centuries by the Roman Catholics as a canard, as a evil canard, to be able to get people in line and make them follow what they want. They become, as a result, if not the richest corporation in the world, one of the richest, right at the top, if you see what I mean. And I don't like the wonder that I found their great sponsor to be, I mean Christ by that. I find that people have to take a rain check there and say, please don't hold him to any attachment to the so-called organizational aspect of the Roman Catholic Church. And I make that distinction strongly. However, it's only my opinion after all.
Sure, sure. And you believe, Nigel, that Jesus existed at one time or another. Is that correct?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
No doubt whatsoever.
Yes, and I'd like to talk about the Shroud of Turin and make some points
go
about
ahead.
that.
Yeah, we'll go into that in a minute here. But For the skeptics out there, and we have a lot of them out here, I myself, I'm naturally a skeptic, but I'm open minded. I'm not exactly against everyone's notions or opinions or theories, nothing of that nature. I'm not.
Skeptic is a good thing to be. A
I'm not
skeptic
married.
means you're
Yeah,
open-minded.
I'm
Yeah.
not married to
But
my
a
opinions.
denier is quite different. A
Definitely,
denier is a pathological condition that people can't help. And there's nothing going to convince a denier.
of
And when
course.
that's the case, of course, and you're one-sided, you may well be cursed to an absolute Armageddon.
I agree. And there is an individual by the name of Joseph Atwill who,
Yes, I'm familiar with
yeah,
that.
he
Yes.
made a book called, I was trying to remember the name of it. I think it was called Caesar's Messiah. I'm not quite sure if that's the accurate name, but I think it might be. And he says that Jesus was created by the Romans.
Well, there are 10,000 different takes on it, depending on what kind of nourishment you have at the moment. That means all these various forbiddances and these letters and vegan and whatever. I'm not rubbishing vegans, by the way. I want to say that
Right,
before I
right.
get 10 billion people coming down on my head from all over the universe.
Now they're out
But
there.
I'm
Yes.
saying that we have incisors and we can be carnivores if we want to, although some people will not like the taste of meat, and I'm not a particular person, not a person who particularly likes that, if you like. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that we really got to look at this thing for its verity and its truth. And I've spent, since my kind of Catholized, I hope it sounds a horrible word, Catholicized, I suppose, um, um, experience, I've looked very carefully at what religion means and how that works. I'm a scientist by my own background and qualifications and so on, and I would like to say to you that in looking at all these questions, I've used the methodology of science, but never believed the results of
That's true.
necessarily.
That's true. But another problem for me personally is I like to believe in things I can prove that exist.
Well, yeah, I think that's a very healthy attitude, if I may say so, and I'd like to shake your hand on
Definitely.
that.
But Nigel, that's not to say that I've not had personal experiences of my own, even shared experiences that many would even consider paranormal. And Nigel, I have to say, I don't go around telling people that that's the definitive answer, or I say this is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Or
I
then
just, I'm in a
yeah,
war
but
with myself,
there
Nigel, to
can
be
never
honest
be
with you.
the whole truth and nothing but truth, but there can be definites, Mike.
Sure,
There can
sure.
be definites like there is daylight and there is night. You see what I mean? And you can't shilly-shally around this. Oh, yes, well, it's not quite that and all the rest of it. But there are situations where you can, in fact, make a statement and have a right to make a statement based on your experience that this thing is in up to the point that you're making that statement a valid proposition and proposal. And unless evidence gathers to the contrary, that actually with 1 plus 1 equals 1 plus 1, not 2. Now there'll be billions screaming about this. Not the great mathematicians, I venture to say. They would know what I mean by that, that 1 plus 1 equals 1 plus 1 and not 2. You're not entitled to make it 2. 2 is a separate thing from the formulary of the equalization, so to speak, if I can put it that way, without being too mathematical about it. And I look at it like that, Mike. I do not think that a person shouldn't say, look, this is what happened to me. As it stands now, I am affirmed in this. But I'm open to being persuaded with the methodology that a square peg doesn't fit into a round hole, generalized logical summation and reason, that we might look directly in this way and form our opinions, and hopefully, if they're not hurtful to anyone else, walk the path of them, really. And I can't say that I've done all of that during my life. I don't think anyone really can. But I tell you what, the longer I've looked at the UFO incident and the question of whether Christ was actually valid and the great teachers were actually valid, I think my footsteps have been firm. And I haven't really gone, as a psychologist or psychiatrist will tell you, now look, it could be this and it could be that. In fact, That's why, to me, psychological medicine is the worst form of all the types of medicine. I think many of them are a bunch of charlatans only there to make money, and they do not, in fact, look fairly at any particular thing. That's why, of all the types of treatments, apart from dumbing down people with all kinds of chemical hammers,
Sure.
they have found a cure for any kind of psychological condition that comes from another stream, a wondrous stream within us. And for that, you have to look through the funnels of the Jesus Christs, the Buddhas, and all the rest of them. They're the ones that really know and see and stand up to all the lamentations and contradictions we have now in our world today. And I'm not some pious, proselytizing
Sure.
individual. I'm a cynic. I'm actually a poisoned mind come to a conclusion. Yes, you're right. You will have wonderful experiences, and sometimes they might call it paranormal, but that only measures how mistaken the normal is.
I
So you
agree.
shouldn't be saying it.
No, I agree with you totally.
Yes. So in fact, be proud of whatever happened to you. It may be there's an extension to you that no psychologist can ever touch, and they usually are, about as significant to my mind as a polystyrene head.
We'll jump right into the psychological angle in a minute here. But
Yeah, right.
before we do, I was just going to ask you, do you have any recollection of what it was for you, my friend, what it was that you read or encountered yourself that convinced you that there was something much deeper?
Oh, it never is a single thing, but there have been some
A combination.
signposts.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there have been some signposts that have led me to it, like the faith of my child in the UFO um, situation and whatever, and he pointing me in that direction. Um, Several other people and their marvelous faith. The look in the eyes of people that we deal with every day in a second world country, I think now, where we have an operation going for the correction of vision, and seeing the incredible look on the faces of people whose cataract operations have just made them see for the first time. Absolutely marvelous. And that is spirit liberating. And those little things are the things to me that are paranormal in increasingly cynical world, don't you think? And so, therefore, life moves on, and I can still have a smile on my face if indeed we scowl at those creatures who went and did what they did in Iran and sit back and leave the rest of the world hoping what the consequences are. And I think that's what we really have to guard against. And that is true evil, not doubting something. I think doubting the right things, what leads to that kind of eminence of evil that floods into our world. And of course, these days, it's on the internet in a second, and everyone, everywhere, knows about it. And of course, you can marshal it, and you can conduct it, you can orchestrate it, you can arrange it. Of course, if it comes up in terms of convincing enough people, we may not be here. And I believe that the whole UFO situation, to me, is to do with a circumstance where hundreds of millions of people, instead of being taken by a rapture, will be taken by a capture. Because what they have as a physically adorned mechanism into another kind of world, what I call a soul, is what these artificially created machine type things want. And they want it not to become sweet and understanding and so on. They just want it as a means of propulsion.
And
And you
Nigel,
might be a means of
yes.
propulsion, I say it again, a means of propulsion. They want the death of people so that they could ride their souls instantly from one part of the universe to another when they are otherwise, with all their technology, restricted by E equals mc squared. That they have to go at 186,000 miles per second, and that's slow with the distances between objects in space that can hold on to intelligent summation. And I think that's why these things are here bothering what are seemingly primitive people that can probably manage 5 or 6,000 miles per hour when they can move it over 30,000, turn at a right angle. And I'll tell you what, if you can do that, you'll be a stain on the inside of the vehicle you are moving at when you make that turn. Every part of your body, your bones included, will be a mouse on the inside, the windscreen of whatever vehicle you're traveling at. And lots of very reliable American astronauts, aviators, world aviators have seen these things moving across the sky. Have no doubt about it. They have been vilified. There's an orchestra here set up to stop their words getting on places where the world will notice it. Let me tell you, Gordon Cooper is a case in point, and so many other astronauts have verified that these things have traveled at that kind of speed and can move immediately at right angles and so forth, and they are substantial enforced structures. Well, I tell you what, Mike, if you are biological and you did that, you wouldn't be there. You wouldn't be there to see. You would be totally wiped out, and your entire demeanor splashed into its various digital merits, shall we say. It's biologically digital merits inside the craft you're traveling. Now, looking at that, I asked the question, hey, maybe they are not biological. Could they be something that is so advanced they're synthetic? And, of course, in as much as that is so, it's created a wonderful chain of investigation that I've looked at and I'm following ever since for the last 40 odd years.
For sure. And you have a very interesting take on the Greys, one I had suspected myself, but you put it so elegantly way before I ever did. And you believe these are not organic life forms, that these things are probably controlled by something else. And there's a gentleman by the name of Stephen Quayle, I believe. And that nice man threatened the YouTube channel that we are on currently right now. I just wanted to mention that for those that don't know. And this gentleman, by the way, he believes that these Greys, he believes that these things are demons. Do you feel that way, Nigel? Even though we kind of already established that these are not. Go ahead.
Rather emotional word, demon.
Right.
And I don't like the construct because it tends to be kind of all over, if you see what I mean.
Right.
I prefer a better, more precise definition of it. But I can see where this man is getting at, because when you get a synthetic, super AI intelligent, quantum intelligent, computerized, whatever you like to describe it, when that thing is got its sights on you and you have got an abacus compared to it, if you see what I mean, those little counter things that we used to play with when we were children. Well, you know, it's a bit uneven, isn't it, Mike? So my point about it is I see that German statement as a metaphor, and I'm not sure I don't go with him in terms of the severity of the difference, if you see what I mean. Right. So let's say that, you know, he has a point there, and I can't, look, if a synthetic thing looks at you, let me would you bear with me a moment if I give you what I think a synthetic thing, the definition of a synthetic thing is?
The floor is all yours, Nigel.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just kind of get my mind around this as how best to put this. You know, let's take what we might call commonly a super robot. I believe these are kind of creations made by beings with a supremely advanced technology, looking for a way to extend their existence, perhaps after their own planet has become no longer habitable. Now, that's a kind of possibility. I'm not saying that is the thing or not. I'm saying let's look at a guide rail on which to travel, so to speak, and look. Let's use this. This artificial intelligence, I think, would logically involve some kind of program to kind of extend, if you like, to extend its scope to cover all possible things, knowledge, to promote the survival and continuance of the information it contains in the best possible aspect that you can keep that information. So if it detected something it could not understand or know, right, it would seek to kind of find out about it, wouldn't it? I think it would. This would mean somehow bridging its artificial intelligence kind of program into an unknown quantity that has all the adaptations necessary to survive out of any particular hospitable planetary location. In other words, by bridging their artificial intelligence into us, they would be extending the existence of the information given to them by their creators, such as they might be, just as transhumanists like Ray Kurzweil seek to do when they look for ways to download an entire individuality into an artificial information format in the interests of seeking continuance for that individuality. Now, on the face of it, Mike, that's the most preposterous and seemingly crazy nonsense you can find. And I don't know this Mr. Kurzweil, and I know he has a reputation as a scientist, but I would not like to shake his hand in case mine was crushed by some supernatural force that comes from not being human, you know.
Oh, yes. You got that right.
I don't want to indict the poor gentleman, but I can't think of a more effective way of doing it than that at the moment.
Well, that works too. Oh, that works.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
It may well be that this universe-wide procedure, and not just one being carried out this on our planet, horrifyingly could be a normal protocol for the whole universe, Mike. Now, if you look at our universe and a million, billion, trillion, whatever number you like to describe, grains of sand on our planet are too small to get anywhere near the numbers of maybe even habitable planets in our universe. Now, that's so great. Wow. If this is going on everywhere, this is all over traffic, so to speak, well, we've got a big deal to think about, us poor little creatures, I think. And that is what I call
Did we lose you?
Sorry. That is what I call something that we really have got to look at, all us human beings on our planet. What are the repercussions of going crazy, hell-mel into AI, into G5, 5G, 6G, 7G, whatever it might be? Are we being instigated to do this? Are these things here donating our toys so that covertly all of mankind is slowly converting into a roboidal mechanism? We are entitled at least to ask the questions and look, aren't we? And some people say, no, we are not. It's not going to be like that. You take what we tell you. We know better what you need to have. You are ignorant. We are the experts. Well, we know what experts have done to our world too, so-called experts. Many of the greatest accidents have happened because of experts and their lack of ability to be expert, but to claim they are expert. Bridges collapsing, goodness knows what, and so on. Accidents, planes dropping off from the sky and so forth. And all of that, we learned the lesson though, Mike. Do we as human beings actually look at these things and, I suppose as a reflection, looking into the eyes of our little ones, ask the question, what are we visiting on you? You know, if you see what I mean. And I don't want to sound too sentimental about that, but I really do use that as a posting for what I look at and so on. It'll be okay. I mean, I don't know how long I will be lasting here, but once my time is over, and remember, Mike, the second law of thermodynamics is one way. Although it's written to go both ways, it seems to be following a single path to destruction, to chaos and randomness with time. That is what the second law is. Why is it one way, Mike? Why doesn't it go the other way? And why doesn't my little car, shall we say, turn into a Rolls Royce? Why does the Rolls Royce go the other way into a pile of rust all the time? And why does everyone die that lives? Everyone lives, dies, put it another way. So you've got to ask, hey, what's going on here? Why are all the galaxies moving away into greater stances of separation of parts? And is more parts better than less parts? After all, you bring the colors of a rainbow together and you get clear light. So why can't we unite? Why can't we put ourselves into that bastion or mode of operation and pull ourselves into an amalgam? And I believe that is what I would call Godhead, not a kind of systemic, bio-centered, super-duper daddy mummy type entity called God. I think it's a principle that moves things into coherence and perfect harmony. And of course, if you get that implicitly, we also tacitly have to say there's the opposite. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a God, there's a state of not being the God, separation of parts. They're God, all parts together in a perfect harmony, and so on. And we look at it in these kind of opposed ways. So I sit down and I look at these things and sit at that box in front of me and tap away and hope that whatever comes on there is discernible. And I don't want to be liked or dismissed or whatever. I'm asking everyone, hey, take a look. Why don't you write your own book? In fact, I actively tell people, don't buy my book. Write your own. Use mine as a guidance if you have to. But the truth will only happen if you, in your own terms, experience it. If I saw a UFO in my front paddock on the estate that I live on, um, and that UFO was changing a tire, shall we say, and we've got these busy little grey things running around repairing it, and I come along and I have a video camera or a phone, smartphone, everyone's got one of these days, and here we are. I have got the evidence. Of course I haven't. Everyone, there are thousands who'd say that was, fitted up. That's some kind of technology doing that. So you see, you can't have evidence anymore because they will say it's been technologically done and it's all false and rubbish unless the experience is personal and unit in you, if you see what I mean. So therefore, what you say about your paranormal experiences, whatever, well, I would ask you to cherish them. And I would, because you said that to me the way you did, I would give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, definitely have to cherish them as well. And I was just wondering, are aliens a part of God's plan too, Nigel?
I don't believe there is a mechanistic creative God as such. I cannot believe in that principle because actually, if you follow that logically, it takes itself out logically. Now, I don't want to go into that. My third book, the third and final one in the series, will be out sometime this year. I'm not even giving you the title, so it's not a tout for custom.
No,
See what I mean?
right.
It's not. I'm not touting for custom there, so I'm not going to give you the title. There's several titles. One of them, I will just say one of them. I don't know what the publisher's going to choose, but one of them is, oh, and so you think there's no God? I don't think they'll choose that one somehow.
They probably
the other
won't.
One,
I said they probably won't, but it would catch the attention of many.
yeah, it might do, and so they might actually.
Right.
You're quite right. I see you've got a commercial mind now.
Yes, sir. And Nigel,
Yeah.
speaking of which, you brought up faith a minute ago, and immediately my mind went to Richard Dawkins. He
Yes.
famously said faith means belief in the absence of evidence. What exactly
Yes.
is your opinion on that?
Well, the big deal, Dawkins, is connected to a place that I have a connection with through various people I know and so on, in Sri Lanka, and he was there apparently with his nanny and in the British context some time in the past.
Oh, wow.
Dawkins is a fool. I went online and I went in front of the whole world. I'm saying that, liking the bloke. I
Sure,
think he's
sure.
a mother and father of an idiot. Richard, I don't really mean that, but I tell you, mate, your incredible wonder and genuflection in front of Darwin for the wrong reasons is already being proved to be total nonsense. There is a situation here where the whole probability of evolution looked at by mathematicians has been so rubbished as to be total nonsense. And I said this in my first book, Song of the Greys, and I was, of course, vilified for it. But I'll tell you what, Mike, as things are going now, there's a huge silence because they're finding when they do the mathematics on evolution, the way they actually assume it goes, generally speaking, it's rubbish. We cannot have evolution. And if we don't have evolution, realize what that means, Mike. It means the ape is in front of us, not behind us. That we are making our own ape under the aegis of a law, the second law of thermodynamics. I call it the slot. That's tearing everything into smaller and smaller, more complex situations with time. You cannot, against that, find beautiful symmetries and accidental juxtapositions, creating highly complex things, like even a simple strand of amino acids. It's total nonsense, logical nonsense. And so I piecemeal take Mr. Dawkins apart, and so many others far more learned than me have done that, I have to say. But I look at it as Mr. Ordinary, just looking at things in life with a view to holding my little grandson's hand as he runs in and out, causing himself to be an absolute pest in my study. And so it breaks up my serious kind of stance I normally take. And of course, please believe it, Mike. I tell you this. Before our days are over, yours and mine, I mean, you will probably last much longer than me, but they will smash the theory of the probability of evolution to pieces. Already a superb article.
Interesting.
That I would recommend anyone to see. It's called Scott.net, Mandatory Intellectomy. You go and read this article, the probability of evolution, if you can get this onto your own kind of front card, so to speak. I tell you guys, the mathematician does the probability numbers here, and you will have an absolute roaring laugh at the nonsense that evolution theory begets, especially propounded by Richard Dawkins. So, time is up for evolution theory and its probability, and very soon everyone will be saying, hey, we actually go down, not up, except in thought, thinking, all the abstracts, knowing, understanding. That way, belief, for instance, is an abstract. In that kind of way, something can be done to this screed of atoms that make our bodies, that it can be propelled against the second law of thermodynamics, the only enemy of the second law, which causes force and matter and all the rest to happen. This other propulsion mechanism is in abstract form, thinking, thinkability, in that kind of way. And if that thinkability is coherent enough, brings thought and ideas of harmony, togetherness, and so forth, without sounding too much like some holier than thou preacher. I like to do it kind of day to day style, striding away in the high street quarter kind of thing. And then we can absolutely see for ourselves how much we can change. The point is, we go by what we see on that screen in the corner, and we are destroyed more than we are built into something special by that screen in the corner, usually. So I take on the little bits and letters and so on in books and look at that and see the latest kind of stuff, that you get there. Far more productive than all the wickednesses that can come at us by that little square box in the corner and can probably hear everything you say in your living room, even though they tell you it's switched off. Very dangerous, Michael.
God save the Queen. That's all I have to say.
So she's a wonderful lady. I have to say, she's been vilified too much for being harmless, really.
Well, okay. Nigel, I definitely want to get into the psychological angle of all of this. And of course, I'm not a psychologist, although I personally know and talk to many of them on a daily basis. And in terms of individuals who have made extraordinary claims about being abducted and even having sex with gray aliens and reptilians, a psychologist would probably even say this individual is undergoing some sort of psychosis and they should seek medical attention immediately. What are your thoughts and opinions on individuals who make these claims about being abducted or having sex with an alien? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
isn't that disgusting?
It's pretty.
It
It's pretty
sounds awful,
wild.
doesn't it?
It's pretty
But
damn wild. Good
I tell you,
lord.
well, the first thing I would do is psychoanalyze a psychologist.
I agree on that one. But we hear these stories so often about people mating with beings from the sky, just like the ancients have claimed.
Yeah, well,
Nigel, my goodness.
that's a lovely way of laying a canard, isn't it, Mike? Because people can claim all kinds of things. The rational
Yes,
and the best ones don't go on that exciting sexuality business and so forth. They know the nature of man, and they know that if you make something as bizarre a claim, and even though it might be true in some instances, I can't say it's not. Obviously, it hasn't never happened to me. And I suppose, I mean, I've been married 50 years to my poor wife, and that poor woman has suffered far more than she can get from any space alien, I'm sure, from being my consort. However, I wouldn't kind of get too worked up about stories about people being kidnapped and having sex with aliens and all the rest. Oh, you can sensationalize anything. And sometimes I think people do that to grab notice, and then that is
sure.
reported as rubbish, and then the whole notion of the premise is then taken to be rubbish. What a clever way of doing it. You can get all the skeptics and the deniers and the people with a vested interest actually publishing this so that people don't believe in it. I'll tell you what, if I was a general of these so-called greys or whatever it is out there, I would do that. Boy, oh boy, would I take care of a lot of this sort of thing and be elected as president of the psychologist symposium in the whole world. Wouldn't that be lovely?
It
And I
would.
think it's a lovely psychological canard for them to try. So I'll tell you what, I would actually look at these psychologists with complete and utter derision and suspicion. I'm going to get an absolute load of mail on this one.
I'm sure you
And
will.
I,
Nigel, that brings up an even more serious individual by
indeed.
the name of Whitley Strieber.
Oh yeah, Whitley.
Okay, what are your thoughts on him? Again, we're here talking about the psychological aspect of all these things, and I hate to bring him up and pick on him, but he's someone that a lot of people do have lots of respect for him. They love Whitley and they love how he would talk about his wife and all that stuff. And nowadays, he's gone through a lot. And a part of me
Yeah,
feels a deep sorrow for the man
yeah,
because of what he relays on every one of his
yeah,
publications
yeah,
in
yeah,
regards
yeah.
to
Absolutely,
the late
absolutely.
wife. Sure. And I understand the trauma, and understandably, I can see that he was crushed by the wife, losing the wife rather. And you know what psychologists would say in terms of Whitley describing and coming through and talking to him.
Yeah, well, I won't. Please forgive me, but it's not my right, or indeed do I consider it in any kind of way decent that I make any comment about Whitley Strieber for saying I believe sincerely what happened to him. Of course, anyone who declares their names in a thing like this is open by the opposition who don't want this thing to be taken seriously to be vilified. And how on earth could we verify any of these things in any case? And to me, it doesn't really matter at all.
Right. No
Does
disrespect to Whitley, by the way. We're just having a
no,
conversation
I
here. And lots of people,
absolutely,
yes, this is just an example of
yeah,
someone that we could sort of point to for everyone to
yeah,
take notion of.
yeah,
And, in fact, studies suggest that when you lose a spouse,
yeah.
between 30 to 60% of an elderly widowed person will definitely have that sort of experience. And again, different psychologists
Only,
would say it's a
yeah, only
hallucination. I
absolutely.
don't exactly think so. Maybe
Only moronic psychologists come up with those panoramic prognostications about this, that, and the other. That's why they are so dangerous. And if you want, I don't mind taking these creatures apart
right.
piece by piece, but I will not point to a single man or his suffering or the
exactly.
fact
Yes.
that he might be coming to terms with things and so on. We all do, Mike. And so we have to respect our own privacies, our own singlenesses. And I think we all have to try to do that without sounding too pious and genteel. But I really do believe this. This is not our business.
Yes, we're not trying to say if we. I'm not trying to ask you if you believe
Yeah,
him or
no,
not.
I don't.
For
I
those that are wondering out there,
Mhm.
what I'm trying to ask you is, we can say that these things are happening to lots of individuals out there. They are experiencing these sort of scenarios in their life. But what I'm asking is, what what is it that they are experiencing, Nigel? What could it possibly be? People that say they've been abducted or had sex with an alien, for instance. And
Well,
of course Whitley as well,
uh,
using him as an example. What exactly is going on in their
yeah,
head,
I
Nigel?
can't tell my Mike, and neither can anyone. There is no litmus paper that gives you, the color red or blue based upon a situation like this. I look at the natural derivational logic of a situation, and if there are some preposterous ideas coming through it that sound a little bit suspicious, then I would say to you, regard it within that series of skepticism,
Right, right.
or skeptical things that you might say, hello, this is questionable. I don't see how, so we'll put it to the side. However, obviously, you get some totally preposterous things that are completely impossible, and you get a feed in of these done for people who actually deliberately, obsequiously try to make a point of rubbishing particular things that's inconvenient to their own ethoses and their own personal, um, 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 if you like, bag uh, of resolutions and why they actually are alive and what they actually do. So the point about it is that if you go on the personal, I could say to you that a Harvard professor, Edward Mack, came out supporting a lot of the things and experiences that he heard from people. A man of such unimpeachable reputation. Uh, the Harvard professor of psychiatry, Edward Mack. Then suddenly he's walking in an Oxford street.
And now he's gone.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, sorry. He's walking in an Oxford street, a car mounts the pavement, and he's gone.
Yes, I was referring to
Now, you
him.
can make
Now,
all kinds of things
yes.
about that, can't you? Right? Why? Because he actually affirmed this. And what's happened to the College of Psychologists and Psychiatrists? Hang on a minute. Money seems to be disappearing from their scope to give us their bullshit. The cowpats. I'm going to say that. Sorry, I
That's
didn't
okay.
want to say the word on the. We use it quite liberally in Oxfordshire because it's a farming country.
No, you could say it here. It's fine.
Okay, cowpats. Anyway, so we've got a load of this kind of nonsense coming along, and I have learned to kind of sweep it away with my comb and not bother about them. But there's too many wonderful things here that point to the verification of the UFO thing. You see, the Greys seem to be fascinated by our genetic structure, and that is understandable. Hence the sexual procedures, harvesting DNA, um, uh, experiments, in hybridization and so on. This whole darn thing is actually to do with genetically re engineering our bodies so that when we die, there is something that might be left, we might call a soul. These are the interesting things, Mike. What happens to the human frame? The body rots away. But millions and millions of people see some eminence, something coming from the body, including doctors, very high reputable doctors who actually see this happening. And photographs are taken of things they call orbs or whatever. And whilst a lot can be fake, there are some that are absolutely stupendously, genuinely pointing to the survival after death. And there is a field of resolution, which I describe in my third book, on how this thing can actually logically be seen to exist and persist and continue. And if this thing we call a soul, right, to define it's extremely difficult, it's only my take, and I try to justify it with as much authority as possible in terms of learning and understanding the sciences of things and so on. Well, I think that we, as a photon-built entity making matter, photons make the atom, and the atom makes matter. And so it's a whole cascade of force from that tiny photon, the least possible force of any situation in our Earth, right? That's the photon. That gives rise to physicalness, physical matterness, if you see what I mean. They call it different names in some various instances. They call it a Higgs boson and all of that. Whatever it is, they are talking about the acquisition of matter, of actual substance. You see what I mean? But when we die, I believe the photon changes into neutrinos. Those things are hardly there. And I think death is a margin between neutrinoicness and photonness. I'll put it that way. But, and then you have to read what I write in the book if you really are more interested in my take on it. But the point about it is, I'm sure there are other people who have other takes on it that probably are more valid than mine.
That makes much more, well, your take is much more sense. This idea that the Greys don't have a soul and that they're after humans for this connection to another dimension is very, very romantic, my friend.
No, it's not just romantic. It actually can be proved. That's the point. And I try to show how the proof can actually be ascertained. They go from one point, the moment they can possess a human soul, they can travel on that to wherever that soul might go. I mean, if you believe in reincarnation, actually that is an amazing way of accounting for this, that the Indians do, the Indian philosophy. They believe that you come back, and that thing they call an orb can come in to dictate a mechanism of life to a womb, a zygote, and a new soul then comes into life. In the same way, these Greys can in fact try and harvest these things and within their technological perspective transfer themselves instantly to where that orb will go in the universe. And that goes past the speed of light. It's instantly everywhere. Connected like an electron is connected to an opposite electron at the end of the universe instantly, and that's actually verified by science. So we have a mechanism that goes from one point to another instantly, and in some kind of way, information, these Greys, I believe, can pass information by grabbing the soul field of a dead individual, previously live individual, and move with that if it's available to them. But they are creating human beings to be available to them. Some human beings are not. They cannot grab them. And those human beings escape their kind of netting, if you like, the way they catch you. And that's another insight that I've had, termed of following a logical line. There's nobody telling me this, but yes, I won't claim particular things have happened to me, but there have been situations where I've wondered whether the world was actually real or not, based upon actual things that I could catalog and see, not some imagined experience that people might think is invented, if you see what I'm trying to say. So I'm looking at this as hardwired as I can, Mike, really. And you have to try to do that. To say to yourself, I'm not selling my children and my grandchildren a bill of goods that they might take on because granddad said, goodness knows that lots of granddads have said lots of things and they've been cast aside. I'm sometimes wondering if they should not have been cast aside with what we see the present generation getting up to.
Oh, my. Yes. So, with all that said, I have to ask, who exactly is in control of the Greys?
Yeah, well, really, in sense, they describe them all kinds of beings and so on, and you can get into a circus very quickly. For me, principles are very important. What is the reason for it? The movement from one place to another instantly faster than the speed of light. That's why they're interested in a species like ours, when they can travel the universe and get here in technology far superior to ours. So what on earth would they want us to be?
Right.
Can I put another proposition at this point to you, Mike?
Oh, of course.
We don't have too much time. We spoke about the Christian teacher, Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm looking at this guy from all different sides, skeptical, including unbelief and all the rest of it, and all the other high-level teachers from all the other religions equally, to find out where there might be telling us something really important we should look at. Let me give you one small example. I don't know if you know anything about the Christian Bible or whatever, but there's a place, an occasion in the New Testament where it is described that this individual, Christ, was taken, and I stress the word taken, up to a high place. And from that high place shown all the cities of the world by an individual or an entity that is not described. And well, not described in terms that we can understand it, but he's supposed to be the devil, right? They call him the devil, but the devil covers a lot of tricks, as you know. You see what I mean? Anyway, so this devil takes Christ to this high place. Now, the interesting thing is in the description that you see in the New Testament of this particular occurrence, you will then find that Jesus is told by this individual, now look, you see all the cities of the world? He says, remember, the whole point is he's shown the cities of the world. And the individual claims ownership of the cities of the world and says, I will give you all these cities if you will fall down and worship me. In other words, be subservient to me and play my cards instead of yours. That's what he's saying to Jesus Christ. And Jesus is important enough for this individual who owns the cities of the world to take him up this very high place and do that. But come on now. We're in Jerusalem, and I've been there several times, around there is no place that you literally can be taken high enough to see any proportion of the cities of the world. Never mind the local ones, if you see what I'm trying to say. So obviously, this guy, Jesus, would have had to be taken a bit higher than a high mountain or a high place that we might know in terrestrial terms of reference. Of course. That then made me think, hang on a minute, mate, he's been taken into space. And from there, we have this view. And then, of course, the implication is that whatever this thing was, he claimed to own all the cities of the world. Could it be here that there is an admission that these things out there have always owned the earth, and they are manufacturing lines and lines of naturally occurring beings into their fashion so that they can do their synthetic modus operandi, and naturality is being converted to syntheticness. We now have synthetic DNA. That's an actual fact. It's not natural bio-DNA as we could understand, as a biologist would understand it. And you see, Mike, that simple statement can give you an indication that something extraordinary involving aliens might have taken place and involved Jesus Christ. And after reading the whole thing about Christ, and being utterly skeptical after my Catholic experience, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I have to say to you, I'll tell you what, mate, I believe where I can get true verification, I believe this chap was absolutely right in what he did, and he came to warn us all of the huge measure of threat to natural soul feels from this artificial situation that prevails in some planets around our universe, where these so-called, I call them the undertakers of doom.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, come on. It's a bit dramatic for me. I'm a Capricorn, by the way, a dull old goat.
It's dramatic, but so fitting. And on a side note, Nigel, before we jump right back into things here, this is a completely left turn here, but what's your take on Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein? Are you surprised?
I really don't actually give a brass monkey's that side. Whatever. I have to say, it's none of my business. And of course, you'll grab all these kinds of things and make sensations out of them and so forth. And I'm not, if he did the things that they say, well, he's not a very nice individual. But if he didn't, he has to have a chance to defend himself.
I agree.
I'm sorry to be that nondescript.
That's okay.
But that's the kind of thing that I keep my attention away from. When you've got the kind of crazy demolition squad grandchildren I have got, I'll tell you what, you have no time to even think about the Queen. You know that? In Britain, we don't all think about the Queen all the time, even though I'm sure she's a very nice person.
God save the Queen. Ah,
I think you Americans actually have a greater idea of the size of our queen than a lot of the British do. But as I say, that's a very decent lady, and I see her as a very decent person. End of story. Now, if her son is a bit of a naughty boy, that's his business, and it doesn't really affect me, and I shouldn't cast aspersions or not based upon his individual liberties to be what he's doing, as long as he doesn't hurt and kill people or whatever, in the sense that he uses his position to protect himself and
let's
all of
hope
that.
not. Yeah, let's hope he's not harming anyone. My God.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah, we
But
don't know that.
the difficulty is that there are such things as courts of law to decide arguments like that, and I don't really want to vilify Andrew because I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know for sure, for sure, for sure. These are
We-
just allegations that are out there. We don't know for sure. But speculation is always fun, as we do it all the time here.
But don't you find that something we could probably, hopefully, do without Mike?
Oh, of
I
course, yes.
find that's my whole ethos, really. Don't speculate, predicate.
Oh, I like that too.
And I'm sorry if I say this, I hope it's not going to go around the internet as an awful thing. And my son say defecate,
Well, now people will think you like Prince Andrew.
Sorry, but there we go. Well, I don't know. Uh, Lots of people do terrible things and so on. And there we are. We have a situation here to guard our own little places, and we have to do that, I think. And our work is cut out for us doing that. But going back to this Jesus kidnap
Yes.
business and so on, that's very significant to me. And of course, the retort made by this individual, Christ, to this creature, "Get thee behind me, Satan," is written that thou worship this Lord thy God and whatever biblical language they use. He was trying to say to him, you've got as much significance as an old vacuum cleaner. Even a bacterium has more significance than you because it's alive, and you're a dead piece of nothing. You see what I mean? With all the technology in the world, you have power over taking a Jesus up there. And of course, isn't it strange, Mike, that Jesus is allowed to go? Now, if that thing was a live biological bloke, like some human being who's wicked, well, if Jesus insulted me like that, I'd have pushed him off the mountain or the high place. No, this thing actually let Christ go. Christ comes back after that and carries on his mission. So my point is, much more likely that would be done by a machine and not something that had emotions and something that gets offended and gets angry or reactive. You see what I mean? So implications like that are interesting for people to read and see and understand things through that. I'm not saying that that is true. I'm saying it's interestingly aspected enough. What if it were true? It would put a huge, huge turn on things, which I believe is wonderful for us all to look at and see. As a result, I don't want it to be made wonderful because it's interesting, but those are the facts, and you can interpret the facts in that kind of way. And then, of course, you've got the mighty and glorious thing that I believe this character called Jesus Christ. Again, I say this, and people think methinks he protested too much, but let me tell you, how else can I put two very important things to you that might give us an insight into what grays and artificial things are? I'm going to talk about this incredible thing, the Shroud of Turin. I don't know if you discussed this on your program.
We've never talked about that. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing.
My goodness, this is unbelievable. This object, I came across it on some Oxford scholars' writings on it, and apparently it's a piece of cloth on which a picture, three-dimensional picture of a man is aspected. Now, I read this and I thought, if I am getting a bit suspicious of the Roman Catholic nonsense in terms of Christianity, after all, Martin Luther made mincemeat of their things about the word repent, and that's another thing we can go on. And I can vilify the Roman Catholic Church, and I'm sure Opus Dei, their killer arm, would come and waylay me about like poor old what's his name, the Harvard professor, was taken out in Australia. So I'm really saying that in this instance where Christ is concerned, you've got another fantastic affirmation as to what power this might be employed and what kind of marvel this power is. They found this linen cloth and they've brought it through centuries and so on. It was dated, and there's huge controversy about the date it's supposed to come at. The latest dating has been huge aspersions have been cast about it, and many people believe it is as old as Christ's time. On it is depicted the body of a man, and it's as though the body has been covered by a cloth, and there is a stain on this piece of linen, which is 14 foot long, that lengthwise covered this Jewish body of Jesus Christ, by the Jews, the body of Jesus Christ, according to Jewish custom. And then it's placed in the tomb, and in the tomb it lays there for 3 days, and then they go there to inter the body because it was actually at the time of the Shabbat, and they couldn't actually put this in the ground at that day when he was crucified. So they waited for the Shabbat to be over, and they then would have gone and buried Christ. So when they went back, they found he wasn't in the tomb. It was gone. The problem with this is then it offends all Jews too, because this comes out that they murdered their Messiah at the end of it. Now, can you imagine how angry that would make a lot of Jewish people, if you see what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Yet, there were lots of other Jewish people who believed that this man was the Messiah, including one of their top rabbis, a chap called Ishta Kaduri, who actually was a very popular rabbi in Israel, who came out and said, I know the name of the Messiah, I've seen it in a dream or whatever. Here he is telling the flock in Israel. And his name, I will tell you, when the Israeli general Ariel Sharon, who was on a life support system at the time, died. And they were keeping him through artificial means alive. He died. And then surely they declared this proposition that Kaduri made. And when they opened it and they saw the name there he wrote, it was Yeshua, which is the Jewish name for Jesus.
Right.
Right. So there you are. You've got that kind of affirmation that this individual, may well have been something deeply significant. Going back to the shroud, we have got this thing now, and it's been kept in Turin, in Italy. And the incredible thing is it's been analyzed and looked at by the world's top nuclear scientists in Italy. And some of them are the world's top scientists, even though they come from Italy. Remember, Lamborghini and Ferrari come from there, so they're noted for their engineering prowess. If you see what I mean. Well, the Italians actually looked at this thing, the scientists and so forth, and they discovered an amazing thing about it. They discovered that this shroud actually is a scorch on the surface fibrils of a piece of linen that could have been made at the time of Christ, and that this scorch left a three-dimensional print, a negative, right, on this piece of cloth. And they wondered, how on earth could this happen? What accounts for this? Well, they looked at this pretty soundly all round, and they came to the conclusion that in order to make that scorch on the on the surface fibrils of linen, the way it's actually there, you would have to have a flash that was 34,000 billion watts in intensity. 34,000 billion watts in intensity. Cause a flash between two layers of linen that scorched a body's image, three-dimensional image, onto this incredible thing as a negative. Now, they wondered how on earth such a thing could occur. So then you've got this postulation of the resurrection of Christ and so on. And then it makes you wonder, my goodness me, this could be true. Well, I went into this at some detail at the beginning when this whole thing was raging, this controversy was raging. And I noticed something about, I had a full copy of the three-dimensional picture of the shroud as a negative, And looking at it, I noticed something about it that most others haven't mentioned, and I made that point in a book. As a result, I was invited to Frascati, where the big conference was held, actually discussing results of all the scientific analysis of the shroud. And there I met all the big names that had actually done this. And I went with a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, Dr. Andrew Silverman, whose book, incidentally, on the shroud is going to be published on the 11th of February this year. And I tell you what, please, if possible, try and find that in America, because this is the definitive work on actually showing you how special this object really is. And Andrew is a fantastic mind, and I think I hope the world will go in flocks and buy this book. I'm not really. I'm not a printer. I'm not a publisher, so I have no financial incentive in saying this. Uh, but just if you want to know something really intriguing, and you want to hang on to something that might be paranormally splendidly true, if you like, I think you've got a treat if you get this book. So the point about what I'm saying is, look, I can go on and on and on making different points that will raise the intrigue of people. But you know what? The best person to do that is you. Take take the torch. Go and look, as I had to do. Promised my son a week, and I would tell him if I believed in UFOs. I tell you what, Mike, I'm still going at it.
That's a never-ending quest.
You bet, you bet. So, the Italian, it's called, incidentally, if you really want to check this up, the Italian Agency for New Technologies, Energy and Sustainable Economic Development, ENEA, say that a short, intense burst of UV directional radiation is the explanation they have found to reproduce the unique features on the image. This degree of power cannot be reproduced by any normal UV source built to date, Mike. I'm talking now. Never mind 2,000 years ago. 34, sorry, I just said 1,000 billion. 34 billion watts. Please, I stand corrected. 34 billion watts. They also suggest that it is impossible the shroud could be faked in this way. So, where do we go from here then? And how does a poor fellow who's asked a question about UFOs like me? Yes, I have a scientific background. Yes, I keep it all hidden. No letters after my name. My name is there on my books. I don't want to be known by DPH, HPD, God, goodness knows what. Though a lot of people throw a great deal of importance on that. And so, for me, it's very simply a quest for reason.
It really is. It really is. And this is a very fascinating subject. And of course, there are other biblical relics of interest. Nigel, do you have any other interest of that sort?
If I started with that, it'll be 15 books. And I tell you what, it's been a hell of an effort to get 3 done. And that's my only claim to fame, really. 3 books based upon these questions. And of course, if you look at it, Mike, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
because
Nigel,
it verifies us, Mike.
True.
It verifies you and me. You sitting in America, me sitting here in England.
I love that.
And whatever we might be, I've never actually met you, but I feel a kinship with you through the ideas we talk about.
Oh, well, of course, Nigel.
The empathies that they actually make between us. And I tell you, incidentally, on the air, on YouTube, you're welcome anytime to come over. You're in England, you're mine. You come and stay with me, and you'll see what a nutcase I really am.
Oh, Nigel, if I ever go out there, we are drinking and having fish and chips, of course.
You know about fish and chips, do you?
Of course.
Oh, dear.
I talk to people in the UK. I know what's going on out there.
That's wonderful. But I say you guys don't get away from America enough. You don't really know what's in the. Most Americans I've spoken to when I'm there don't even know what's in the Gulf of Mexico.
We're oblivious. We're completely oblivious, Nigel. That is true. We're American. We don't really know or care too much about what's going on anywhere else for the most part.
But I'll tell you what. I formed my moral turpitude based upon Walt Disney and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and all those beautiful programs like It's a Wonderful Life and all the rest of it. Oh, Mike,
Nigel, you're an American,
where's
Nigel.
America gone?
You don't even know it, Nigel, but you are American.
But I'm asking the question, really, seriously, where's that lovely America gone? We've got these crazy chaps as presidents and whatever.
Oh my.
I'm not mentioning names, but I think you all know who I'm referring to.
Of course. Yes, the political spectrum here in America is quite broken. I'm sure we can all see that by now.
Yeah, but what a wonderful country it was. It saved Europe. It did so many wonderful things about that time. We had the Wizard of Oz and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and we had Bonanza and all kinds of wonderful programs with a moral at the end of it. I could, as a young kid, know where the good guy came from and the bad guy went and so on. And I tell you what.
You hit me with the Bonanza reference there. Wow.
Yeah,
we're going old school here. Good night, John Boy.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you. I mean, I think America was warm and beautiful and
certainly
presenting the world with something worthwhile. And then we seem to get a sharp decline after 1947. And I don't really know why that is. But then, I tell you what, Roswell happened then. So maybe there is some connection. I actually don't know, Mike. I'm telling you, this is one of the things I don't want to speculate on because I haven't looked at it. And it doesn't matter anyway. There's too much evidence for their presence on this earth and what they're doing. I tell you, I would be a mother and father of an idiot to ignore it, really.
I'm with you on that one. And that brings me to another question here. Since the name of the show is called End of Days, the Michael Decon program, I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on a end of day scenario? How do you think the Earth will be annihilated, my friend, this island Earth?
I don't know. The short answer is I really don't know. I can speculate based upon ideas that push you along. And
sure. Let's go with that, Nigel. What do you think?
I would just simply say they are going to come and in some kind of way create enough terror, cause a huge, perhaps nuclear holocaust that will kill a certain number of people. There's another thing here that worries me a lot, and that is that their main targets, when you look at when these people who are abducted go into these ships, most of the accounts that I have read, in fact, almost all that I have read, show that the bodies they are taking of human beings are white. They are European. They're Northern Hemisphere Euro-Caucasian. Now, I thought to myself, why are they harvesting these types of people? Looked into it, and I found that genetic engineering is much more cleverly and easily accomplished with the kind of cutting mechanism to get into the DNA that you need to have. The thinnest knives are made of light, ultraviolet light. So to cut into those tiny places and replace the DNA bases to make another kind of protein or another kind of tissue, you have got to get into the nuclear membrane of each cell. But in dark-skinned people, they've got melanin granules around there, which absorb the ultraviolet light. Melanin is some kind of magic substance. That's the brown stuff that gives you a tan if you go in the sun. That stuff, actually, this is a very fascinating thing, and I put this in the book because I wanted people to comment on it. And this melanin stuff absorbs that energy of the UV light and blunts the knife. You can't actually get into the chromosomes to alter them. But they found an African albinoid person, and they don't have melanin. And of course, these things came thousands and thousands of years ago. It's not only just recently that they're here. They've been here for hundreds of thousands of years. 200,000, some people say 300,000. I don't really know. It's very difficult. There's no real evidence that I can point to put in the book. However, it arrives at around 220,000 years ago. And they call this individual they worked on the African Eve. That was supposed to be 70 billion years ago. But they started the change of mankind or trying to change and merge with mankind, these machine things, by getting into the DNA, because they could say DNA made it work with their technology. Now, the point is this. This is sensational because, oh, jeez. They really started to make progress about 70 million years ago when fortuitously an albinoid person came along and they found that they could get in to the DNA of this individual because there was no melanin shield. Albinoids don't have melanin, even in the plasmalemma or the nuclear membrane that covers where the DNA is in the central chromosome pack of a cell. Now, my goodness, that is incredible. That was the breakthrough they were waiting for. And they then bred through this, looked at what was necessary to do this. About 10,000 years ago, they came up with a gene called the A111T gene, and they inserted this into a certain number of individuals, which then took away the melanin to a great extent and allowed them a chance to work ongoing the present date to schematically change the DNA of a certain type of our human family. And you can see where I'm going with this.
Oh,
I
yes.
think these things are coming here to harvest that kind of human being. And I think unless we see this canard that they're performing, and whoever's protecting them knows this, that they will take out most of the northern hemisphere type of humanity for their use, because they can actually organize the DNA so that when you die, your neutrinoic field from your photonic field is exactly a match for how they can attach through electromagnetism, attach their influence on particular souls. Now, if this is true, we have got an absolute huge problem here. And we really ought to know about this and what these things are actually planning to do. So, this thing, ironically, might be people they use to get the kinds of nations that can cause nuclear war to do it so that they can ironically harvest the Euro-Caucasian type, fair complexion people. And that's about 700 to 1,000 million, a billion people. And to do that, they could cause the most devastating war. And those people who say they're doing this to protect this person or that, I don't believe. I don't believe that at all. I have to say that this may be a huge canard to bring about this situation. And that, I think, might be what the ancient biblical sources called Armageddon. So you asked me the question. I give you my take on it. Please, 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 I hope I am wrong.
Amazing. Well, Mr. Kerner, it's been another fun and pleasureful conversation with you, my friend. I hope you had fun.
Thank you. I've had fun, but I've liked talking to someone who seems a very, very amiable individual, and I'd like to actually meet you sometime. I hope
We
I
will.
can.
We definitely will. If I make my way out
Thank
there, I'm sure I will go to the UK eventually. And
you. Yeah.
when I do, my friend, we will drink some beers, no doubt.
Well, if you do that, you're mine. Okay?
I'm there,
I'll
my
make
friend.
you a promise on the air.
I'm with you. Don't worry. I'll hang out with
Okay.
you.
All the best. I hope whatever power there looks after goodness looks after you too.
Thank you, my friend. It
Thank
really means a lot to me. But before I let you go, Nigel, definitely plug your website or anything you'd like, my friend. The floor is yours.
No, I don't want to. Please, I won't take that option. If you see my book, you know people know my name, and I would leave it to their auspices to do that. Thank you very much.
My goodness. Well, thank you so much, Nigel, and we will definitely do this again in the near future.
Thank you, Michael. Bye bye.
All right, Nigel. Take care.
Bye.
Mahalo. And there he goes, boys and girls. That was Mr. Nigel Kerner, a fantastic guest. Love talking to him. And of course, when we return from this little break, it's Celebrity Death Pool. And wow, You don't want to miss it, I promise. It's gonna be quite tasty. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, boys and girls. Here we are again for another edition of Celebrity Death Pool. Are you excited? I know I am. And of course, I won't be alone here tonight. I am bringing in another voice. Let's do that now. Vanessa, are you alive and well out there?
Yes. Hi.
Fantastic. And for those that don't know, Vanessa is here live and direct with all of us here. And
Yeah, I just wrote in the chat.
Perfect. And she draws assignment yet again, boys and girls. This will be quite lovely. Vanessa, welcome back.
Hi.
Are you excited as much as I am?
I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I mean, I haven't been with you for like three months.
It's been a while, right?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and you are here, of course, because this is a time-honored tradition.
It's the controversial time of year.
Oh my God, it really is. And Vanessa, by the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Isn't it weird that it's 2020 now?
It sounds so weird, and after all, I got over all the jokes, all the puns about, 2020. It's weird. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like it just doesn't feel right. It feels weird. Could you believe that the 90s were 30 years ago? Like 1990 was 30 years ago.
That makes me feel very weird too.
It's so weird.
All of it is very odd.
When I hear 30 years, I always think like the 80s. I don't know why.
I don't think I'm ever going to get used to hearing 2020.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
It is really weird.
And Vanessa, do you have your bottle opened yet?
I do, yes. I was already drinking and it's already getting to my head.
I just took a big chug right now. Excuse me.
Good. We love a drunk Michael.
Good Lord, I was choking there.
Yes.
It was a big drink I took there. And of course, boys and girls, what's ahead will shock and scare you. And Vanessa, I guess we should just get right into this, right?
I love getting right into it.
Clockwise. I live dangerously too.
Yes.
We both do. So, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, here we go again. This will be delightful. And before we begin, we will be going over last year's picks, of course, too, before we jump into this year's 2020 list.
Were you right last year on anybody?
I only had one.
Oh, congratulations.
I only had one. Thank you so much. And for those that did win, I sent a few people different books, by the way.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I mean, it's kind of a hacky gift to give anyone since, we're doing a show like this, but, I'm not really too fond of giving prizes away and doing the whole game thing. It's kind of hacky shit. It's not really my thing.
I mean, why? You don't like gifting your subscribers?
I do, but it just feels like I'm doing the same bullshit everyone else does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like doing that. Yes, I don't like to follow anyone really, but Celebrity Death Pool is a time-honored tradition, not just on my show, but many other radio shows before mine even came to existence.
Well, I want you to know, if it makes you feel good, the first time I ever heard of it was your show.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew that people made lists about who was gonna die.
Oh, it's quite popular.
It's a little morbid, but it fits.
This is not an original thought by any means, boys and girls. This is just one of those classic bits that are completely tasteless, yet so goddamn awesome.
Yeah. I like to think it was just you, though, that you thought of it.
Well, I'm not going to argue. I'll let you believe that.
Okay, good.
It's a lot more romantic that way.
Huh?
Oh my God. So here we go, boys and girls. One of the most offensive segments I do. How shamelessly excited I am. As always, this is Celebrity Death Pool 2020. I can't believe how time flies by. Let's hit the music, Vanessa.
Yes.
Are you ready for that?
I'm
Are
ready.
you excited for the music?
I'm so ready.
Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, yes.
Is this like the Love Boat?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It's so lovely. I can't believe this is happening, Vanessa.
Feels nice.
Oh my. Here we go.
Did you tell people to call in?
No, I haven't told anyone call in, but
call in.
Yeah,
it's
they could call in
way.
if they want. Yes, that number is 760-332-8724. If you want to share your top 10 picks, please feel free to do so. Me and Vanessa are here, and we will take your picks. By the way, don't worry. This is a safe zone.
Yeah, we'll be nice. We don't bite. Oh, Michael does.
Goodness, Vanessa. My goodness. If anybody wants to call in one more time, that number is 760-332-8724. One more time, 760-332-8724. Now, Vanessa.
Yes.
Let's go back in time.
Okay.
And go back to our picks from last year.
Okay.
Starting at number 10, I picked Bill Clinton.
Oh?
Of course, that didn't come to fruition, did it?
No, but I feel like 2020 is his year.
You think so?
Yes, I think that's a rollover pick.
And number 9, Vanessa, is Kevin Spacey. What do you think about that? Is that a good pick?
I was going to put him on the list for this year.
Okay, don't tell me which number. Don't tell me which number, but...
Okay, I didn't.
Okay. And of course, number 8, Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I mean...
Were you taking a drink right now, by the way?
Yeah,
Me too.
mean, I thought he was gonna die too. I actually I believed in your picks. Like your picks, they spoke to me.
They really spoke to me too. You know, he now resides behind bars.
Yeah, so he's dead, but like in a different way.
He's dead inside.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, many think he might even go out like Jeffrey Epstein or even Aaron Hernandez. Remember that?
Yes, I'll remember.
Oh my God. So yes, and of course, number 7, Pete Davidson. You remember that?
Yes, I remember. He's still alive and kicking.
He's still alive and doing quite well for himself.
Yes.
How is he doing so well? That's what I'm wondering. What the fuck is he doing?
I think that in Hollywood, you have to be either like really good looking or like not so good looking.
Is he doing some sort of favor behind someone's back? Is he doing sexual favors? Is that what's going on with Pete Davidson?
Sure. I think everyone is. I think it. Yeah.
A little bit of guy on guy action with the top executives.
But probably both.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Both. A little bit of both.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You know, Pete Davidson. He seems like someone who would go that way.
Desperate.
Who would have fun that way. Do people not know who that is?
He's on SNL, right?
How do you not know that terrible comedian?
Yeah, he's...
Can we even call him a comedian at this point?
God,
has he ever made you laugh?
So long.
Does he make you laugh?
Never. No, I don't understand. I don't get SNL humor too much. Like, I don't find it that funny.
SNL is a terrible show.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. But yes, Pete Davidson was on the list, but of course he's still alive and doing well, which is not a bad thing. He's still out there playing the field, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
God bless him, though, right?
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Not so good for us because we lost. No,
that's true. Not so good for us, but yes, we'll keep our fingers crossed this year. Maybe our picks will come to fruition for us.
How many people get mad at this? I feel like
people get real mad.
Yeah.
People get very angry at this, by the way.
It's all in good fun, right?
Like, it's all in fun. We don't really want them to die. These are just people that we speculate might die. Major difference. But
there's some people on my list today that I wouldn't mind. No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay. If you want them dead, I'm not angry at that.
I'm just kidding. Yes.
I'm not angry at that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the slightest. Now, that brings us to number 6. I think this was Dan Blankenship. Not sure if I'm even saying his name right, but he's from Oak Island.
What is that?
It's some show. It's some crazy show. I'm not sure if you would even be into it, but he did die.
Oh, he did? That's
I
the one
believe
you
he
won?
did. Well, yes, that's one of the picks that I did well with, but that wasn't exactly just my pick. Other people did suspect that he would go, so I can't take too much credit for that one.
Because he's old. Yeah, 95.
He's
he died at
goddamn
95.
old. Right.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And of course, number 5 was Tina Turner.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
You remember that one, though?
Yes, I remember when you said that.
Yeah, Tina Turner. Do you remember? No, you don't remember your pick, do you?
No, I don't.
That's okay.
I know I won some because I remember when George Bush died. I knew it. Like, I knew it.
When George Bush died?
Well, oh, I'm sorry, I'm drunk right now. But yeah,
You're drunk
when
right
his
now.
wife died, senior.
Are you drunk already?
I think I
am. What time did you start drinking, by the way?
The thing is that I fast for like 16 hours, so I'm not really. No, I'm drunk most of the time. But you know what I mean. When his wife died, when she died, she was on my list, and so was he. But I think he, this year, I'm gonna win this year.
This could be the year.
This could be the year, yes. But I don't want to spoil it.
And by the way, for anyone who was trying to call in, I do apologize. The lines were down, but I just resetted this thing here, and now your call should be able to come through. Now I feel terrible. All this time, people were trying to call in, and I had the phone system down.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize. My God, I didn't see that until right now, and I feel terrible because there were calls. I just checked. I had a lot of missed calls, by the way.
They need to try again.
They really do.
No one ever calls when I'm on. I don't think they like me.
No, it has nothing to do with you. It was just the fact that I didn't have this thing going off, and now I do. But my God, if anybody wants to call in, that number is 760-332-8724. If you have any picks for us, definitely call in. And already there's someone. Drunk. There's already someone calling in. Let's bring them on. And caller, you are alive and well. What's going on?
Hi, Michael. It's Robin.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
That's a very
a very sexy voice.
It's a very, very attractive voice.
They thought I was a boy, so I thought I'd call in and let them hear.
Amazing.
That I'm not a boy.
Are you a tranny?
No, but in the old days,
you could pass as one.
Those dating lines, the trannies would start copying me.
All righty.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing.
I love your voice, so it's very like Sharon Stone. It's very Sharon Stone.
So we have Sharon Stone on the line. Did you have any picks, by the way?
George Soros.
George Soros, is that your number 10 pick?
Oh, let's put him to number 1.
Oh, number 1. You want to kill him that fast, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
Let me think about it. Y'all pull some others up, but I'm gonna think.
Oh, you're gonna think. Okay. Well,
okay,
how about
here we Jimmy go. Carter?
Jimmy Carter. He's up there. He's getting pretty goddamn old. He's a great guy. Of course, we love him to death. But of course, death is right around the corner for that guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Is the Queen ever gonna die, or is she doing too much adrenochrome?
God save the Queen.
I think she's so rich that she doesn't die.
I know, she probably just won't die.
Yeah.
She probably might live forever.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That reminds me. I hope to like live longer than a lot of my enemies out there, because I for sure will piss on a number of headstones. I'm not even lying either. That's a shoot.
Oh my God.
It's wonderful when your enemies die.
It really is. It really is. I know that's a terrible thing to hear for some people out there, But that actually brings me great joy to know that I will piss all over the headstones of my enemies. Mark my word.
You'll have to make a movie of it.
Oh, I will have to video that. Yeah, it's only proper. And that's kind of one of my, I shouldn't say it's my only goal, but it's in my top 5 of goals that I will be keeping. It's pretty dark. Yeah, it's pretty dark, but you know what?
It can be hard to find their headstones, though.
Oh, I'll find them. I can find a lot of things, believe me.
Are you gonna haunt people when you die?
I hope so. That's another thing. That's one thing I hope, if the afterlife is a reality, I will definitely go after a number of people in the afterworld.
But like, would you haunt them? Like, would you
No,
scare them?
I'll be nice. I'll troll them nicely and gently.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. I'm playful.
Oh, I know that.
That's right. You know that.
Yes.
Oh, we are gonna get playful. That's true.
Oh God.
My goodness. But yes,
that beer is hitting you.
Jimmy Carter, though, for sure. That's a great pick.
Yeah, that is a good pick.
A lot of people think he's in checkout. A lot of goddamn people think he's in checkout. And of course, since we are going down the list here, Vanessa.
Yes.
And friend.
Sharon Stone.
And Sharon Stone.
That's Robin.
Robin, aka Sharon Stone, though.
Yes.
And of course,
I didn't know Sharon had a deep voice.
She kind of does. She kind of does.
She's a smoker.
She probably smokes, right?
Yeah. She has a very sexy voice. Have you ever seen Total Recall? Well,
no.
If you haven't,
Robin,
she's very pretty in that movie.
You never seen Total Recall, Robin?
No.
Are you serious?
Oh my God, you have to.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Robin?
It's a classic.
I'm 57.
You're 57 and you never seen Total Recall.
Yeah.
Robin, I'm gonna choke you right now.
Oh, Michael,
I'm gonna choke you over the phone.
Choke me.
Oh, don't worry, Vanessa.
Oh God.
I do have friends. I do have friends that freak out because I'm kind of dumb in that area, and they're like, "Oh, well, you have to see this," and so they make me watch things with them, and I don't think I've seen that one.
So your friends try to corrupt you.
It's very good.
So your friends try to corrupt you, and you don't allow them.
All kinds of them. It drives them nuts. If you don't know anything about Hollywood, people just flip out. They just suddenly have to educate you all about Hollywood. It's pretty funny.
My goodness. My goodness, indeed. And other people are calling in. By the way, do you have any other picks?
I'm not. I'll let y'all bring in other people.
Okay, Robin.
Get it fresh in there.
For sure. Cool. Robin, I do want to thank you, though, for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do it.
I'm going to say a line from Total Recall. Consider that a divorce.
My goodness.
You'll understand it if you watch it.
Well, there's your assignment, Robin. Cool. Watch a Total Recall when you can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll get one of my corrupting friends.
There you go. Hit them up. Okay, Robin. Much love. Thank you so much for calling in.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Mahalo.
Bye.
And there she goes, and that number is 760-332-8724 if you were calling in. Now the line is open. Go ahead and call in 760-332-8724. My goodness, Robin really did sound like Sharon Stone, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
Very, very sexy.
Very sexy
sounding woman.
Very sexy, yes. My God. Well, Vanessa, that brings us to number 4 of last year's picks. Of course, that was Artie Lang. Another comedian that I'm sure you don't know who that is. Wait, you do know who that is?
Yes, I do know.
Well, now I'm surprised.
I only know because last year I looked it up when you said it.
Nice. Well, now, Vanessa, he looks pretty bad, by the way.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen a photograph of him. like lately, like what he looks like now. But it's pretty bad.
His nose?
His nose looks real bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. I might even have to bring it up for the chat room.
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah, that nose.
Remove your e-thought and put Artie Lang.
The nose was really bad.
Yes.
And I even hate to even had mentioned him on the list for last year. But my God, he had a hellacious year.
Yes.
Let's see, I think I found the photograph here. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness. Can you even see the chat room, Vanessa?
I'm on my phone and I see your logo. Let's see.
It should load up. It should load up pretty soon.
Yeah. It's just I don't, I have the volume down because I know the rules.
Yeah, you know the rules. You know how to get down here.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
You know that.
For sure. And that is Artie Lang in the chat room, by the way. Look at that nose.
Oh yes. No. You need to put the side profile, the mug shot.
You want the mug shot?
Yeah. If you're gonna put it, you gotta put the good one.
Look at you, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Look at you. Your suggestions here, my God. Smart. Very, very smart. And for those that are listening to this is another reminder of why you need to listen to the program live or watch the show on YouTube. That way you can see these photographs that we are displaying for everyone here. And my God, here we go again. Look at Artie.
On a night like this.
On a night like this, indeed. Look at Artie, my God. He's just all fucked up. Look at that.
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm surprised he hasn't kicked the bucket yet.
He's doing better, though. Believe it or not.
Yeah?
He's doing better. Yes, he's doing his own podcast now. And he's looking not as bad. He, right there in the photograph that you were looking at in the chat room, that is when he was like at his lowest of lows. Just high on heroin, completely oblivious to the world. That was Artie Lang.
Dark times.
Very dark times. I can't believe it.
You like him, right?
I love Artie Lang so much. He is one of my favorite comedians throughout all the years. And of course, for those that don't know, he was on the Howard Stern show, and he made that show completely funny for so many years, bringing the audience to a standstill with his stories about drug addiction and stories about bookies and prostitutes and all sorts of things.
Oh, I'm looking at him on Twitter, and yeah, he's doing good things. He's doing fundraisers and stuff.
He looks a lot better.
He looks a lot better.
He really does. For those that haven't seen what he looks like now, it's a pretty big improvement.
I mean, his nose is still fucked up.
The nose is still terrible. The nose is still terrible, but he now has that color back inside of him, where he doesn't look as terrible as he does here. I promise. I mean, in that photograph, he looks really, really awful. No doubt.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I do have a photograph of him in a much more current state of how you can find him now if you do look him up. And this is him at some comedy show, and he's still doing comedy even though he has to be watched at all times, basically.
Look at this promo for Artie Lang.
I know we're doing such a long promo here for Artie.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna kill him for 2020, we gotta do a little promo.
That's true.
But we're not on your list.
No.
Wait, don't tell me.
No, he's not on my list for 2020. This was just last year's list, by the way.
Okay.
This is just last year's list. So yes, that's Artie Lang. Moving along, boys and girls. I'm glad you're here. And number 3, this might be a bit of a shocker for people out there, but my number 3, my third pick here, was Bernie Sanders. Can you believe that? Is that too much?
No. I think when they're old, it's kind of obvious.
It's kind of obvious
that they might die.
Yeah, who wants to live forever, though?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's better to die when you're young because people remember you that way.
That's right. And of course,
that's so horrible. What are we saying?
I know. What are we saying? But Bernie Sanders, number 3, he's a tough Jew. But goddamn, he's holding on tight. I hope we don't lose him in 2020.
No.
I really don't. And of course, number 2, Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
I don't think it's happening, though.
I mean, there's an expression. I don't know if it's just a Spanish expression or it's Cuban. I don't know. It's bicho malo nunca muere.
What does that mean?
It pretty much means like a bad bug doesn't die. It doesn't make sense, but the translation doesn't make sense.
That's hilarious, Spanish, though.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
And I could see it happening.
We love a bilingual show.
We do every now and then.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. It's quite hilarious. But my God, Hillary, she just won't die. She really won't. What is it about her?
I'm gonna say a deal with the dark one.
A deal with the devil? Is that what you're alluding to here?
Maybe. You never know.
Wow. Yeah. First time for everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I didn't think you'd be saying that here tonight.
Oh, well, I'm drunk and I say things.
I like it when you're drunk.
Ooh, nice.
But not everyone.
No.
No, not everyone is pleasant to be around when they're drinking.
Oh, no. I know some horrible drunks.
Me too. I hope to forget them, really, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
My God.
Yeah, I don't get people that are drunk and they cause problems.
They're just troublesome.
Drama.
Yeah.
Drama. Being drunk, you're supposed to be like fun and you're supposed to like let things slide.
And not everyone.
No. I'm a fun drunk.
I'm glad you are. And of course, number 1 was Pope Francis.
Oh, he's on my list this year.
He's on the list. Yeah, he's just
slapping people's hands.
I can't believe he survived another year. I can't believe it. How is he doing this?
I think this is his year.
It's some witchcraft.
Another deal with something, yeah.
Deal with the devil, right?
Yes.
Who knows? That might be true, though. It just might be true. Dark times. This is a very dark show tonight.
I know. I'm depressed.
I know. I'm so sad.
Let's drink a little bit more.
I know. I'm going to have to take a big drink right now because of all this negative energy we're throwing around here.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. That tastes so good, by the way.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Stone Ghost Hammer IPA.
I don't know how you drink that.
It's pretty good. What do you mean you don't know how I drink that?
It's bitter.
It's not bitter.
No?
No, it tastes good. It's good.
Okay.
No, I think you need to give it a try one of these days.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll win you over. It's not so bad. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was waiting.
Oh, got quiet.
I know. That's why I'm like, are you going to do that?
Pick up the next caller.
I know. I think they hung up. I think they gave up.
Well, we want them to call in.
We wanted them to call in. That's right. That number is 760-332-8724. If you have your picks for 2020, now is the time. Now is the time to call in because we will be going over Celebrity Death Pool 2020 right now. And holy shit, do I ever have goosebumps, Vanessa?
Yes.
If you could only see my arms and you could feel the electricity that's coming off my arms, boys and girls, and it's happening right now.
I think the first one I ever heard was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I remember even I got a little upset.
You were angry.
I mean, a little bit. I think I was. I think I didn't.
I think I know why.
Why you killed somebody I liked?
Someone you liked, and I had them on the list, and you didn't like that.
No, I don't like any famous people. Well, I mean, I like 2.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? Oh, man, I got pissed. Yes, probably.
That's what I'm thinking. All right. Well, now it's time to get into this. And holy shit. I'm ready. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Now, number 10.
And someone said it was boring. They should call in and make it fun.
Well, I'm sure they're angry.
Yeah, they're angry. Okay.
But yes, this isn't for everyone.
No.
Yeah, they could fucking leave.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. So, yes, we're going to start off with a wild card pick here.
Okay, a wild card. Okay.
George Lucas.
Oh, okay.
Is that going to make you mad?
No, not at all. I don't care for Star Wars.
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah, I know.
You're not a Star Wars fan,
some people
by the way.
mad. Yes.
Well, fuck them. I don't give a shit.
Ooh.
They could fuck off. But yeah, Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but George Lucas, I think his time is up.
Really?
He's had a good run. But I think his run is just about time. It's met its course, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, people will be so sad. It will be worse than like Stanley. I think people would be really upset.
Stanley?
Remember when Stanley died, how upset people were?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think George Lucas will be another one of those. Like, people will be really sad. Like, they will feel sad. I don't care about George Lucas, but you know what I mean.
Well, people do worship the guy. I don't care about him.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, I'm sure, but this has nothing to do with if we like someone or not, though.
Yeah, I know. Death is inevitable.
Yeah, it's going to happen to everybody. But, George Lucas, he's someone that strikes me as someone who's had a more than fantastic run, but he's just an accident away.
Yes.
He's getting to that age. One little slip up, and it's over.
Oh, God. Do you want to predict how he dies? No.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I don't know how he's going to die.
That's too dark.
But it's going to happen.
A stroke. I'm going to predict a stroke.
George Lucas, though, 2020, folks. Look out for that. Look out for that. And what about you, Vanessa? What's your number 10?
My number 10? I'm going to go with Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen?
Yes.
That's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And why Charlie?
I've low-key thought that he's going to die for a while. I think this is his year.
And that's it.
Yeah, he's going to die. And, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he is. But I feel like he will be. I mean, like, soon. I really do believe 2020, though. Maybe towards the end. Remember it here, folks.
Remember it here.
Yes.
That's not a bad pick, though.
I mean, he has HIV. Good. I don't think it's necessarily that he's going to die from that. So.
Oof.
I know it got dark. It got real dark.
You brought up the HIV.
I mean, I said he was.
That's cold. That is cold.
No. I don't think it's going to be from that. I think it's going to be from like an overdose.
Well, I could see that happening, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
An overdose, right?
Don't make me feel bad.
Oh, no, don't feel too bad for your picks.
No, I don't.
I think it's quite sane. It's not something that's completely illogical that won't happen.
I mean, I think that when you pick young people, like, you're kind of asking for it. Like, you're kind of like, it's mean.
Like who?
Well, he's 54. That's pretty young to die.
Right? He's pretty young.
Yeah.
But I could see him going out as well.
Yeah, okay.
I could see him going under. All that winning.
Oh, God, I remember that. That was like a meme. I remember that was like... I mean, he did pretty good that year.
He did. Yeah. He did quite well for himself. But of course, good times are only there temporarily. Dark times ahead.
Dark time.
We will see if you're right. We'll keep an eye on that.
Oh, God, yes. If he does die, remember me. Thank you.
Now that brings us to number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your 9th pick, by the way?
Okay. Now, this should have been like a top pick, but I I think she's gonna outlive us all. Betty White.
Betty White, not a bad choice.
I mean, she's 98. That's a giveaway. But I think 2020. I mean, if I were to die, I would want it to be like a year like 2020. No, I mean that sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. It's like a good year to remember. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I can understand
I'm drunk,
that.
Michael. I'm sorry. I'm drunk.
I don't know why you're apologizing to me.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
no.
But you could be drunk. It's cool.
Okay, you remember, like, I don't know, like if you die on a like 2020, like I think
that's a good year to die.
People will remember you.
Well, it's a good year to die, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
You're not wrong about that. It's a good year to go out.
That sounds horrible. I don't want.
Well, who fucking cares?
Okay, this is not a nice segment.
And I mean, it never was intended. The whole fucking program was never intended to be a fucking nice show, though.
Okay.
You know, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the show, and that's why we love the show.
Okay.
Because it's not for everyone. Yes, don't apologize.
No, but I really do believe that she probably will live longer than this because she looks like she has her mind, which is important, I think. Who knows? You never know.
I think.
But I do feel like it's close. At least it's close.
She might outlive us, though. You're right.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. And of course, my God, number 9 for me is, of course, Willie Nelson.
See, I have him on my list also.
Well, I have him as number 9, and my God, Willie Nelson. I didn't want to put him there.
I feel it's soon. It's soon.
He just stopped smoking weed, allegedly.
Really?
He like completely quit cold turkey. Allegedly. I don't know if I believe that though.
Yeah. I mean, gosh. I mean, he's gonna leave like. If he dies, I mean, he's left like a legacy, you know. I mean, he's really like he sings beautifully, you know. Like he has a lot of like really pretty songs. So I mean, if he dies, it'll feel bad, but like he's leaving something behind. You know what I mean? Unlike Charlie Sheen.
That's true.
You know? Yeah.
So you're calling Charlie Sheen a piece of shit, in other words?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
See, why couldn't you just say that?
I mean, because I didn't want to be mean.
Well, I mean, Vanessa, this isn't a very nice show to begin with.
I know, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, we don't fucking pretend here.
People in your chat are saying that he vapes. Willie Nelson vapes.
He still vapes. Yeah, I see that now.
Really?
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Do you think that he might die from like a vaping accident? Could you imagine?
From the bootleg vapes?
Yeah.
He gets lung fucking cancer and dies.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Poor fucking Willie Nelson. I hope he doesn't go out that way. That would be a fucking terrible way to go out. Yeah,
it's really. I think they would cover it up. It would be a cover up.
Lord, I love that old man, but his time is over. I think the weed was the only thing driving him.
The thing is, I don't know. There's this thing that I could kind of like see when I see like older celebrities, like when you see them performing or when you see them in interviews and stuff, they do like that head shake, like that shake, like they're losing it. And I see that he's doing it already.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
My.
It's so sad. It's such a dark show.
Well, I mean, that's why we love it.
Yes, yes.
That's why we love it. And of course, that brings us to number 8. Oh my goodness. That would be Ghislaine Maxwell. And that really needs no explanation. She knows a few things that could potentially get her buried at sea. Or maybe even possibly a suicide. And as you know, Vanessa, suicide is the new black.
So, out of all the deaths, I think suicide is the one that scares me the most.
You're afraid of suicide?
I am so afraid of suicide. So
and don't do it. Yes, I just want to say it now to those out there listening to this. Do not kill yourself.
Yeah, no.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. But yes, Ghislaine Maxwell. And my God. Although reports are circulating that she is the daughter of a Mossad operative, She may not go under this year. She may not. And what about you, Vanessa? Who is your number 8?
Okay, let me go look. Oh, I actually had Pope Francis.
Pope Francis, again. Not a bad pick.
I had him because, he's been on the news lately and he's been slapping people's hands. And I don't know. I felt like, he's pretty old. He's 83.
You think a heart attack is near?
A heart attack. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
A heart attack would be pretty telling at this point.
Yeah. He doesn't look like he has like cancer or anything. So a heart attack.
Heart attack. We'll go with that. We will definitely go with that. My God. Good pick.
You didn't tell me we were predicting how they die.
Well, we don't have to. We'll talk whatever we want here. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Number 7. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, number 7. This might be a bit of a shocker to you. Frances Bean Cobain. Kurt Cobain's fucking daughter. For those that don't know.
Who's gonna kill her?
No one's gonna kill her. I just think she's...
Oh, I thought Courtney Love was gonna kill her.
Well, that could happen.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, actually, now that you say that.
So that would be like an overdose or a suicide, right?
Either, whichever one fucking happens first, but I could see both scenarios definitely going down. But Frances Bean Cobain, I could see her killing herself, however.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's been having issues with depression, that's why.
Oh, okay. But who doesn't, right?
Well, yes. But the thing is, with her, she's more on the crazy side.
Okay.
That's the problem.
It got dark here. Michael, she's 27 years old.
So you're saying that she's too young to die?
No, I'm just saying that we gotta have a little, they have to be a little older.
I don't think they have to be old.
To put them on your list?
No. No, not at all. What?
Okay.
No,
it's possible.
She's just fucking crazy, and I think just out of all the signs that are there, I think it's completely possible that she will off herself. She said that she's been feeling guilty, Vanessa, because she inherited all that Nirvana money.
Oh.
So woe is me. Can you believe it? Being 27 and depressed that you somehow got so much money from dad. Oh, I'll just fucking kill myself.
I can't relate, to be honest. I can't relate.
I can't either.
Yes.
I don't understand that. But yes, when you are that young and you are getting a shitload of money and all you're doing is being depressed and you're feeling regret. Oh, my life is so hard.
Oh my God, your chat is saying that there's 27 people in the chat right now. So it's a sign.
Ooh.
Oh.
She's going to die this year. There it is.
Sorry.
Confirmed.
Sorry.
Confirmed.
It's somebody by the name of Titty. Oh no, Tidy.
Titty. We'll go with Titty. Titty Minion.
Yes. Oh God.
That's hilarious. But by the way, she's actually a pretty lovely looking girl.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She's pretty. She has the look.
That doesn't mean anything.
Fuck no, of course not.
Yes.
Doesn't mean a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And of course, now we are at number 6.
Yes.
Who do you got, Vanessa? Throw it at me. Give it to me.
Oh, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh my God, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I forgot all about him. Tell me why.
Why? Because his wife died.
Oh no, Beth.
And it's...
Oh.
They were in love, and usually when they die, like their loved ones die soon. It's very dark. It's very dark.
Dark times.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
Let me pull up a photo of our friend Dog the Bounty Hunter. Since we're pulling up photos here.
And I think it's gonna be a heart attack also, and then people are gonna say it was a broken heart.
I like that.
God, I feel so evil.
Why? It's just a prediction. It's okay.
Okay.
It's all possible. These things can happen.
I mean, death is completely natural.
It really is. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it
Yeah.
goes. You're here one day and gone the next. That's just the way it goes.
It's very true. It's very true. That's why you gotta live your life to the fullest.
Gotta live your life, boys and girls, to the fullest. Don't be sad. Keep your head above water. You know the routine. And yes, now we have Dwayne. Is that his name?
Yeah, his real name.
His real name is Dwayne. Yeah, there we go. Do you see him there rocking those 80s Oakley sunglasses?
It hasn't come out yet.
Or 90s, rather. He looks like he's going to pitch a ball game with those Oakleys on.
I'm waiting.
It's still lagging there?
There we go. There he is.
Yeah, look at that mullet.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look good in that picture.
He doesn't look good at all.
No, he looks sad.
He looks like ran over dog shit.
Oh, God. He looks sad. And I honestly...
I know. He looks kind of fucked.
Yeah, he's on something.
Yeah, he looks like he's probably on pills and shit. Probably snorting some Xanax, doing that shit.
The Xanny bars.
The Xanny, man. The footballs. Did you ever pop that shit in high school, or what was going on with you?
No.
Never in high school?
No, I was a goody.
Not even an Ambien in high school?
Never.
Oh my God, Vanessa.
I don't take anything. Michael, I am a
What
good
the fuck?
girl.
Just getting all mad. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
You're so mad that I'm so good. No, I really don't. I really don't. But my whole family is addicted to stuff if it makes you feel any better.
You've told me that, and it doesn't make me feel good at all.
No, just
it doesn't make me feel good at all.
Just not me. I'm actually afraid to get addicted to something because my family, they're filled. I mean, they're all addicts. I don't know. I skipped a generation with me.
That's okay. Well, I'm glad you're not into that shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, why would I want you to be into that? Why would I want you to?
So I didn't smoke weed until I think probably like 2015.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I mean, good.
But I was like 30. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Or 30, I don't even know. But it was, so honestly, I've never even smoked a cigarette, believe it or not.
Good. Don't smoke cigarettes, by the way.
No, I don't like it because Sharon Stone is awesome, but I don't want my teeth to get black. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could understand that. And of course, now we are moving along here. And number 6, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
This might break your heart. Alex Trebek.
Am I supposed to be sad?
Well, not really, but I mean, I'm just being dramatic.
Yeah.
You could be sad or happy. It's fine. Or not give a fuck. No, not happy. It's cool.
Michael, I'm not evil.
Well, I mean, some people take great joy in this.
Really?
Oh, of course.
No.
I don't take joy in this at all.
Yeah. No.
But, I love doing this.
I don't care for any of these people. That's why they're on my list.
You don't care for them?
No, I have one person on my list that I don't know if I'm going to tell you because I feel very bad telling you.
Why do you feel bad?
Because it's somebody that I like.
Okay, well, hold that thought. Caller, you are live on the air. What's going on? Talk to me.
Hey, brothers, Kaiser. Yeah, I was on hold. It kept telling me 29 minutes.
That's weird.
That's fancy.
I will tell you, I loved the Nigel thing, so I'm going to bring it back lighthearted like he was. It was one of the best shows you've had, and this is good too. But let's bring it up a little lighter. We can have some fun with this.
Oh, well, we are having fun. It's just a matter of opinion, really.
Perspective, exactly.
Oh, this is fun.
And I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed this entire show.
Oh, I love it.
You know me.
Oh, yeah, but trust me, there's a lot of people that don't like this and they have complaints, but, I don't give a fuck about them.
Fuck them. Yeah,
well, this is my show.
No.
I don't give a fuck.
It's your show. It's your baby. I just was saying.
Well, this is a show for men.
Awesome.
That's the thing. This is a show for guys and for men. Let's just be realistic here.
Well, there's some female. I mean, you have a female on right now.
She's sure, but this is the demographic for men mostly. I don't make I'm not fucking dumb. This is kind of, directed for men only, to be honest. But
and mature women.
Mature women, exactly. Women that
Mature women.
right.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Yes.
Of course, of course. So, did you have any picks, by the way?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh,
And
let's hear this.
I've done a show about them several times, and you knew about this years ago. For the people not initiated, you've known me for a while, and Soleimani, well, he took the ticket and bought the ride. Not saying I won't either.
Oh, you mean Kasim?
Yep. Well, yeah. You remember me and you talk offline
Mr.
a lot
Soleimani.
about a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Are you surprised about that, by the way?
I'm kind of disappointed. There's a show a long time ago. It was called The Peacemaker, and a lot of people thought or realized that there was a Russian in this show that stepped out and got snuffed, and I can't think of the actor's name, Jeremy something, Cooney or something like that. He was famous, I guess. But he said there's some people you just don't kill, and what he meant by that is that it's better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And that's because of the psychological profile we had already on him, and we had on this 2IC as second in charge, and they snuffed them both. And so now the Khomeinis will be able to put in somebody that we may not even know. And so that's going to be a jump through for the government with their psycho guys, to be very frank, on my page, I'm very honest on everything I do. I'm not going to try to pin my page on your show, but you know who I am. The fact is, I did several shows on this, and it was before it became national news. And a blind man could have seen this coming. Sadly, and I say that, I make my living in war, but I'm not a war lover, and I'm actually sickened at the amount of time we've been there. Even though NFA Kalam Arabi, I speak Arabic. I've lived in that place. I'm 51 years old. I'm probably at the top of your age group here, and I'm not a boomer. For those people that want to say I'm a boomer, I'm not.
Amazing.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Yes.
And my son's involved too now. He's in the Marine Corps just like I was.
Right.
You know all about this. Hey, we do need to get to bring it light. We do need to get a drinking game. It's about every time you say amazing, drink.
Well, and you are a little bit behind.
I'm already wasted.
Well, no, there's already people that do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. And it's amazing, and the other thing is fascinating. And I look, the replacement for Art Bell, and all honesty, and Michael has heard me tell him to his face, is Michael, because he is the most down to earth, honest man on the internet, and I'm just a fan. I'll always be that.
He's very nice in IRL, in real life. He's very nice.
Well, Michael knows a lot about me that most people don't. And am I lying, Michael?
No, you're not lying.
We don't need to get into it, but he is somebody who I respect, and it's because he has the voice for radio, and he has the looks for TV and movies, and I don't. But here's what's funny about this, Mike. Michael,
are you drunk?
I'm sorry.
Are you drunk?
I don't want to. Yeah, I've had some beers.
Nice.
But here's the funniest part: is finally I found a publisher. So a whole lot of shit's about to come out, brother. And you know, I've been a whistleblower for a long time, Michael.
Right.
And so there's some positivity, some fun stuff, man. And this is what it's about.
Oh, of course. Of course.
You know, look, I don't think your guest tonight now, and I'm sure Nigel would never have known who I was. But this is a fact. I go back to Bell Gap. Anybody, if you look up Sore Point 9, you'll know who I am. That's the name I use, and the reason why was my call sign from the Army and the Marine Corps. Went in at 17. I'm 51 years old, and I'm still doing it live on both feet, baby. And
amazing.
Yeah, okay, drink. The point is, I'm not trying to sell myself, but I found somebody that it's gonna come out, and I have to do it in a certain way, and that was something you, honestly, Michael, and my wife and my son and people who knew me kept saying, write your book. And you're an encouraging person. You know, I know you say fuck them, but you also encourage people. And you're a good man. And you know I mean that. So
I appreciate that. And a lot of people are intimidated of my divine intellect, to be honest with you, and that's completely fine. I'm going to go through the entire world through my act of defiance and arrogance and intransigence, my friend.
You're going to rock the nation. I've told everybody, you are the next Art Bell. I've told you to your, well, not to your face, but in our quiet call. I know you will. There's not a doubt in my fucking military mind. If you knew how many late nights Art Bell on stakeouts and different things that I've done, and you know what I do for a living.
Sure.
We don't need to put it on your show. I'm not trying to self-aggrandize. I'm trying to say the best part, man, is you had an awesome dude tonight, Nigel. He is based as fuck, but funny. And it was so lighthearted, and I had a joy from it. And you've had so many guests like that lately. And you keep it on a mellow level. And it's Art Bell. It's Art Bell. You maintain the steady, I'm the interviewer, you're the interviewee, and you'll laugh, you'll joke, but you'll also bring it right back, and you always bring it to center. And that's something I don't think a lot of people see. You know, I wish I had your skills on my page, because I don't. You know, and now I did an epic show on something that you know about and other people know about, but I had to put it on library and on BitChute,
right.
Because guess what? YouTube's pushing me down. They're probably pushing your numbers down too.
Oh, of course. I've seen that happen.
It's disgusting to me. YouTube was supposed to be about people, and now it's become corporatized. I see Fox, I see CNN, I see everybody but the regular folks, even the subscribes. I've been unsubscribed. I bet everybody that's listening in earshot has been unsubscribed or is not getting every time something drops. And that's a problem. And in all honesty, you know what I'm saying, Michael. This is a travesty. And yeah, I can get a BitChute library. I get a lot of views. Sometimes I get more views than I do on YouTube, which is weird because that tells me YouTube's pushing everything else down. And I think they're pushing everybody to alt tech, and hopefully YouTube dies, honestly. But I don't hope it dies until you've gotten your fan base totally solid, you know.
Sure.
And you get noticed, because I think they're trying to stop people from getting noticed.
Well, there's a lot of people that want to stop me from getting noticed. Many of them I know already. Yeah.
Well, shit, I've been called everything from a Nazi to a fucking, fascist to everything else. I don't give a fuck either. I'm the same way. But, I'm 51 years old. My son's grown in the Marine Corps, just like he followed a different path in the Marine Corps than I did, but he's got talent. He's an artist. He can make his way. I don't worry about that. This is the sad part, is that so many in the youth, and I talked to a lot of youth at one time, and you know what I'm talking about without me saying it.
Right.
It breaks my heart that they feel disheartened. The millennials are not all lost. They're not all they don't all think America's bad. They don't all think that white people are bad, or black people are bad, or Hispanics are bad. But they understand America needs to stand. We don't need the invaders. We don't need, hopefully, if you're doing a death list, hopefully all the invaders, and I mean this, and all these people trying to subvert our nation, I hope they pass this year, because we have an election year coming up. And if I'm going to be based as fuck, I'm going to tell you the facts. They don't add anything to our nation. They take from our nation. And anyways, I don't want to get you in trouble with YouTube, man. It just saddens me, because America, we have Americans that are out of work, living on the street. We have veterans that are living on the street and homeless and not getting food. And yet we want to try to help everybody else globally. I have a problem with that as a veteran, and also as a guy who still operates. I really have that issue, brother. And your detractors, they can call me every name in the book, and I was very honest about my YouTube channel.
Oh, don't worry, my detractors can take a nap and never wake up again. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. I don't wake up thinking about any of these fucking retards. But thank you for the call. I do appreciate it, my friend.
God bless.
God bless, buddy.
Brother.
Take care.
Be well. Peace.
And there he goes. That was Sword.9. Great guy. And of course, what a call that was, right, Vanessa?
We love a supporter.
We do. We love support here, and he's one of our many supporters here on the program. Much respect to him. He was dropping knowledge for all of us here. Yes.
He was.
Yes, America is a bit kind of fucked right now.
And YouTube is super biased. I hate them.
Yeah, YouTube is kind of shady these days, and of course that brings us back to number 6, Alex Trebek.
You said him last year too, right?
I did. And I'm looking at a photograph.
He's a rollover celeb.
He really is. I'm looking at a photograph of him now in the chat room, and now I am depressed. I'm sad. Look at that guy. Poor guy.
I mean,
poor guy.
How do you think he's gonna go?
I don't even want to know how he's gonna go, but it's not gonna be good. Most likely in his sleep.
That's horrible. Gosh.
Isn't that the best way to go, though, Vanessa? Maybe in your sleep? Or you don't think so?
Definitely. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Oh, God. I don't know.
I know. It's dark times, right?
It's really sad to think about.
It is. I'm sorry.
Lately, I've been thinking about death, and it's not just because of this list.
I know.
There's no good way.
There is no good way. You're right.
It's kind of awful.
Yeah, you're right. No, it is awful. There is no good way to die. I give you that. I give you that. And who did you have for number 6, by the way?
Oh God, I don't even remember where we were last time.
Number 6.
We were. Are you sure?
Because... I'm sure.
Okay, let me go look. I'm sorry.
Go look. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that was Willie Nelson.
Okay, Willie Nelson, number 6. Yeah. All right. Not a bad pick though. Willie Nelson. Ever since he stopped smoking weed, I think he's gonna go, Vanessa. You know, a puff or two keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
And that brings us to number 5. Who's your 5th pick, by the way?
For number 5, I actually have Stephen King.
Really?
I don't like him.
So you put him because you don't like him?
No. I just feel like...
You just think his time is near?
He's so like... he's just so vocal on Twitter.
So you think he's gonna get like worked up into like some sort of shoot, and he's gonna go crazy, and then he's gonna have a stroke.
Like a stroke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like anything. I mean, like
you don't like anything.
He has some He has some good stuff, but like his stuff is not that great. I think he's overrated, to be honest.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I think he's overrated. Stephen King, he's whatever. He's good, but you know.
He's overrated.
He's overrated, yeah.
Yeah.
I could agree with you on that one. Now, number 5 for me is the Wicked Witch of the West. That could only mean one person, and that is Maxine Waters.
Mm-hmm.
The Wicked Witch of the West. There she is. Look at that face. Seen that face right there, Vanessa?
I'm looking. I love seeing your pics for like what pictures you... Oh, okay.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Do you remember this woman?
Yes.
She's a nasty lady, isn't she?
How do you... no, I'm so curious how you would think they would die. I know that's not the purpose.
She has like a very nasty soul, in my opinion. That Maxine Waters. She's someone... I don't think she's gonna get a heart attack. I think it's gonna be something else.
I mean, she's pretty old. I feel like once you're like 75 plus, I think you're done for, to be honest. Like,
it's pretty much over. Yeah, you're downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maxine Waters, I just think her time is up. She seems angry all the time.
She looks good for 81, though.
She does look good for 81, true. But again, she's just a very nasty woman. And I think her time is up. I think it just might be over for her soon. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just feel that way.
You just feel it.
I'm feeling something with Maxine Waters. I don't know what it is, but I felt something, boys and girls. That is a person to sort of keep your eye on in 2020. And number 4, and Vanessa, you already brought her up, but of course my number 4 was actually Betty White.
Yes.
Yeah, Betty White. I'm kind of... I didn't want to put her on the list because I think she's a lovely lady. But
she's super cute. Like, I wish I was that cute when I got old.
She's quite prolific, to say the least.
Yeah.
And she even made a voiceover, by the way, for Toy Story 4. The series over on Disney, by the way. What is she, like 97, 98?
98, I think. Or, no, 90.
97?
I'm so drunk I don't remember, but I did look it up. Hold on.
She's up there, though. She's up there.
Yeah, 97. That's 97. Very old. That is very old. Do you want to live that long?
I don't know if I want to live that long, to be honest with you, boys and girls.
Yeah, no.
That must be kind of unusual. Just like Paul Hellier. He's been on the program and he's like 98, probably 99 now. That's probably the oldest person I'm ever going to have on my show. By far.
I just feel that when you become kind of like... You're so old, you're kind of like a burden. Like, and
you're kind of like a chore for someone. Is that what you're saying?
And I don't want to ever be a chore for someone.
Oh, I know what you mean though. If anyone has not ever been in that situation and you have like a loved one and they are bedridden Oof. It's a terrible thing to sort of endure. And of course, you sort of contemplate your life and start thinking about how will you spend your last days as well, in a bed with tubes in your nose.
Yeah, no, that's not how I would want to be remembered.
Fuck no, me neither.
Yeah, like my cat like recently passed away.
I know, I'm so sorry, by the way.
And he was sick towards the end, and it's hard not to remember like him being sick, even though he was only sick for a short amount of time. Like it just feels like I remember obviously all the good times with him and stuff, but it's just hard not to remember the last days when they're sick.
Sure.
So I can imagine with people, it's just like that. You know?
It's bad times.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to see that. You definitely don't want to go through that sort of thing in your life where you see your friends or family and they are laid up in a bed with tubes in their nose.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want that.
It got real dark. It got real.
Well, it's life, and there's nothing scarier than reality, my friend. Sweetheart.
Yeah.
I like that, by the way.
That was cute.
I like saying that, by the way.
Sweetheart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Sounds nice.
Do you like honey?
Honey is okay, too.
Yeah.
That's always a crowd pleaser. And of course, Vanessa, number 3. We are at number 3. Vanessa, who is your number 3? Gotta tell me.
Edward Furlong.
Really?
Yes, from Terminator 2.
What made you decide that?
I saw a picture of him recently.
Hmm.
He didn't look good.
Well,
he didn't look good. He's not old. He's 42.
He hasn't looked good for many years, though, Vanessa. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he's gonna be like, if he dies, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's amazing. He should have been in the last Terminator." Like, you know how when people die, everybody loved them.
Sure. I mean, that's what I always say about a good example of that is like the group Hanson. I always say I can't wait till Hanson dies.
What is your thing with Hanson?
Anyways, Vanessa, like I was saying, once someone from Hanson dies, I can't wait for musicians to come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh, how this person from Hanson was their inspiration, how they loved them, and how they loved their style, and how they wanted to be like them so badly." I mean, I can't wait for that, Vanessa. You know, I love that shit.
You know you love Hanson.
I do.
Low-key.
I love Hanson.
Bop.
Bop. That's a jam. That's my jam.
I think you jam to that in the car.
I do. I bob my head.
You bop your head.
Oh my God.
God.
By the way, are you in the chat room now?
Off and on. Let me go look.
I do have a picture of him now.
Okay.
Okay, look at that shit. Look at that face. Look at that face. And for those that are not in the chat room and listening to this through the podcast version, we are now looking at a photograph of said gentleman. And look at that expression on his face.
But I will say, if you've seen the new Terminator, John Connor will always be the leader of the resistance.
Well, that I'm not denying.
Yes, but John Connor in real life, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Well, Edward Furlong, rest in peace.
No. Yes, I mean, I don't know, but soon.
He looks like shit.
I hope he gets it together, because I mean, honestly, that's my favorite movie. Terminator 2 is my favorite movie, and I want him to do better, you know? I don't like that he's like the joke, like the punchline, like the people are always talking about how he's fat and like he's done drugs, and I want him to do better. I want him to prove them wrong.
Oh, he looks like a junkie in this photograph.
I mean, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he was doing heroin for a long time. That heroin, as they say in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, in my la coca. They talk about la coca here.
Cocaína. Right?
Yes.
Is that how they say it?
Yes.
Amazing. Cocaína. Yeah, that's right. And of course, that brings us to number 3. Vanessa, let's hear it.
Number 3. Who did I have?
Number 3.
Oh. I don't want to say this one.
You don't want to say?
No, because I feel bad. It's somebody that I like.
Why do you feel bad?
Because no, it's somebody that I like, and I just don't want. So I'll save number 3 for you. You could say number 3.
Oh, come on.
Okay. All right. I put Arnold Schwarzenegger on here because
Wait a minute. You said not to put him on.
Because I don't want him on.
And now
but
you
I don't
picked
know.
him.
He just looks to me. He doesn't look well. You know? I don't know. He's had a few heart attacks in his life. But I love him a lot. Like, he's like the only famous person I like. So I put him on there, and I regret it, but
oh no,
I said it, so it's out there now.
Wow, it's out there in the universe now.
No. He's 72. He's 72, and I just feel like I don't know. He's had a lot. I mean, he's had an amazing life. So if he were to die, I mean, he's done it all, you know. But I don't know. He just doesn't look well.
Oh no.
I don't know if it's 2020. I don't know if it's 2021, but I know that it's soon.
My goodness. Well, that brings me to number 3 for myself.
Yes.
And of course, that leaves me with Bernie Sanders.
Your rollover.
Bum, bum, bum. Can you believe it? Bernie Sanders, number 3. Can you believe it? My God. Look at that old man, Bernie Sanders. You know, I don't want to list him, to be honest with you. I do regret putting him there. I really do. I really do. But you know what, Vanessa? He may feel the burn.
Oh, I love a good pun.
That's right. And you know what? I'll tell you something. In regards to everyone out there who loves him, we do love Mr. Bernie Sanders. Don't get me wrong. But the guy has had many issues with his health. And he definitely will feel the burn this year in 2020, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think so.
You don't believe it?
It's too soon. I don't know. He looks okay. Like, he looks like his mind is there.
Even with the latest trouble, you still believe that he will be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I just doesn't feel. I don't feel it, Michael.
I don't know, Vanessa. I think he might check out.
I don't feel it. I gotta feel it.
You don't feel the energy, the serotonin through your. You don't feel the serotonin running through your veins.
No.
Not for this one.
Not for this one.
Okay. Okay.
But I will. I mean, if you get this right,
you'll be amazed.
It'll be amazing.
It will. Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any trouble with that. I don't have any trouble with that. And Vanessa, that brings us to number 2. Who do you got?
I got Bill Clinton.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No, you had his wife last year.
I had Hillary.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's his wife, but you know what I mean.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like
whatever
that.
they are.
Yeah, whatever they are.
But you got Bill.
Yeah. Doing something pedo-y, I'm sure. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how.
Allegedly.
But I really do feel it's time. Allegedly.
Yes.
You know about allegedly, you have to say it really loud.
Allegedly true.
Yes.
Or false. We don't know.
Yes.
We don't know for sure. And I thought I had a photograph. Oh, I do. Look at him. There we go.
Is it a good one? Is it a good one?
It is. He's making that face. You know the face. Oh, you know the face. Look at that face. He's doing it. Yeah, he's doing it.
It hasn't come out for me.
Oh, not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, hit reload. Or refresh, rather.
Refresh? There he is. Oh, God.
Look at that. Face. That's the face.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were at that sort of event and they had different, like, entertainers up there? And I think it was like Ariana Grande came up there and like all of a sudden like Bill came to life.
He's so cringe.
He looked like he came to life, right? He looked like he was a fucking corpse. And then once that bitch came out, he was like fucking trying to throw money at her.
Yeah, look, there's he gives me there's a few
Oh
famous
my
people
god.
that give me that weird like pedo vibe.
He is kind of like a pedophile, you're right. He does
I
have
don't
that
know,
pedo
just
vibe.
his look. There's a few other people. Bryan Cranston, he gives me that vibe too.
Really, out of all people, Bryan Cranston.
I don't know
I've never heard
why,
that
but
before.
he makes me feel like uneasy. Chevy Chase is another one.
Do you
I
feel
don't know
like you
why.
have to hide your vagina when you look at him?
I feel maybe if I was a little bit younger, I would, yeah.
You have to like when you look at him, you have to like close your legs.
Yes.
I understand now for sure.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just something I feel.
As soon as you put it in those terms, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm sure people understand.
Ugh.
Maybe, I don't know. There's a few people that do that. Kevin Spacey also did that to me.
He's very rapey, right?
Yeah, they just have that look. I don't know if they just look like, I don't know. In Cubans, they call it like viejo verde.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Anything to you? Yeah, I don't know.
I heard that term before.
Okay.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Do people like him in the chat?
Oh, I don't know. I doubt it.
They're calling him Bad Billy.
I don't think anyone likes Bill Clinton too much. I still think he had a tremendous run. You know, to get blown in the Oval Office is kind of legendary in a way.
Yeah.
Either way, like if you like him or dislike him, it still takes like some sort of balls to sort of do that. So you kind of have to like him just a little bit, just on that fact alone.
I mean, didn't he like insert a tobacco? He did, right?
Like, I believe so. I believe he inserted some sort of a cigar inside of a vagina.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
That's kind of the boss, right? But did he light it? That's what I want to know.
Right?
That's the real important question here. Did he light the stogie there? Did he actually light it from Monica Lewinsky's twat?
Oh. I want to know. These are things I want to know.
These are really important questions, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it's pretty. He's a legend.
He's a legend. The guy's a goddamn legend. Even though he's kind of a piece of shit, he's still a little bit of a legend.
And it's his time. I think it's his time.
Oscar Langley says a Swisher Sweet. I like that.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Oscar Langley. Oscar Langley, we still don't know if that's a guy or a girl, but the character Oscar Langley is from a Japanese anime where the character is a tranny.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely?
It's very 2020.
Our Japanese friends out there, they have a wild imagination, right?
I mean, I love you know, I love the Japanese culture. They're the best.
Yeah, we love the Japs.
Yeah.
For sure. And of course, here we are at number 2, Vanessa. Are you excited?
Number 2? I feel like we've gone around a few times.
We might have.
It feels, Michael, I think you're drunk, and I think I'm confused.
Well, I don't really care, but we're going with number 2. If it confuses anybody else, fuck them. Okay. We're doing our own thing here.
Okay.
But yes, number 2. I'm excited about this one, Vanessa.
Uh-oh.
And it might, a lot of people love this guy here, and I love him too. That's the thing. I really did not want to put him on the list, Vanessa. I felt deep sorrow and lots of regret in my heart. Didn't want to do it, Vanessa, but number 2, Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
I know, right? Doesn't your heart hurt now?
Yes.
Just a little bit, right? It stings.
Yeah. I mean,
it stings a little bit, I know.
A little bit. I don't know why. I don't know him personally. He could be an asshole, but I just feel bad,
I feel terrible. I didn't want to list him. Michael J. Fox. I love the guy. I
You
really
do.
Yeah, I've always liked him for the longest time. He's a part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Part of my childhood.
I see that, yeah.
Michael J. Fox. But you know what? It's time. It's time.
How old is he?
I'm not sure how old he is. We'll look it up right now.
50s?
I don't know. Let's see. He is 58 years old.
Yeah.
And he is definitely in my top 5 of Canadians that I love.
Aw, I didn't know you had a top 5.
I don't. I'm just saying that.
Oh, it is
It's for shits and giggles, yes.
Oh, okay. My favorite Canadians are the ones from South Park. I forget what their names are.
You're talking about
Troy and Philip. Is that what their name?
Terrence and Philip, right?
Terrence and Philip. There we go. Those are my favorite. Obviously, I love them so much. I forgot their name, but I'm drunk. Okay.
If they were real people, they would be there.
Yes, I love them. I love them.
But don't you mean you like Matt Stone and Trey Parker?
I love them.
Well, then that's what you mean to say.
Yes,
but they're not. But they're not Canadians. But we'll just pretend.
You know. My favorite is Cartman.
These are real. These are real people to us, then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
We're going with that. And of course, Vanessa.
Number 1.
Number 1. Who's your number 1 pick? I gotta hear this one.
Okay, this is a cheap one, honestly. Kirk Douglas, because he's 103.
Kirk Douglas, you actually picked him.
He's 103. If he doesn't die now, I'm concerned.
If he doesn't die, you're gonna go kill him.
No. Oh, this is a laugh show. We don't say that.
We don't say that here?
No, we don't say that here.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, I think it's his time. 103. He's lived a long, full life.
Is he really 103?
He's 103.
No way.
That is crazy to me.
Are you fucking ribbing me here?
He's really 103.
No way.
Yes.
I don't believe it. What? You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Oh my god, he really is 103. I thought you were ribbing me for sure.
No, he's 103. I mean, I think that if he doesn't die now, he's gonna outlive his son.
How is this fucker alive at 103?
I have no idea. I feel like some of these rich people, they have ways.
He must be drinking the blood of 3,000 virgins then or something.
Oh, baby blood? Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember one day I was on it was another one of these segments and I said something about baby blood.
That's right. Baby blood. Yeah, Kirk Douglas, he's a fucking vampire, right?
Yes.
Wow. Wah wee wah.
Someone said he was old when I was young.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking Christ. I didn't know he was 103 years old. Wow.
Someone said 103 is the new 90.
I'm gonna have to fucking send Wesley Snipes to go kill this guy.
Oh, I love Wesley Snipes.
Blade, remember?
Yes, I love him. Remember?
He's a fucking vampire. We gotta go kill Kirk Douglas over there.
Yeah.
Fucking Daywalker. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. This has been so much fun, Vanessa, by the way. It should be illegal.
It really should.
It should be illegal doing this. This is so much fun.
It really should be.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, Vanessa, that brings me...
Who's your number 1?
Yes, that brings us to number 1 for me. And of course, my number 1 is Harvey Weinstein.
Everybody wanted him in the chat.
Well, he is my number 1 draft pick. Wow, he hasn't folded just yet. He might have been cleared of some of his wrongful allegations, apparently, but I still think of all the things that he's gone away with. All those things that we don't know of yet, all the things that have not been settled in a courtroom, the things that we only hear about, the things that are just speculation and rumors, Vanessa. I mean, the guy probably did all kinds of naughty shit that none of us will ever even know about, Vanessa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's weird to me. It's weird. Like, I think he's bad, obviously, but I don't know. I don't think he's that bad. I feel like he's probably just like everybody else there. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
But I mean, yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if he'll die. We'll see. We shall see.
Oh, he's got the means to stay alive, but When the Grim Reaper wants you, he'll take you.
Did you put a picture of him in the chat?
I sure did. I sure did. You know I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know I did. But yes, Harvey Weinstein, number one. He is the number one prime suspect here, in my opinion. And
he's walking with a walker, right? He has a walker?
No, that was bullshit.
Oh, okay.
He's just selling that part.
Okay.
And of course, Vanessa, we do have some picks from Twitter here. We are running out of time, but we do have a few more picks here, and we'll just list them really quickly. This comes from Dr. Strange Love, by the way, over on Twitter.
What a romantic name.
Right. And number 10 was BT. And number 9 for him was Adam Sandler. Do you agree with number 9 for him?
No. I mean, his movies are shit, but...
I agree.
I don't agree. He looks good.
And of course, number 8, he picked Bill Clinton.
Twins, yes.
Number 7 was James Comey. No pop. And number 6 was Benjamin Netanyahu, actually.
Okay.
Which, of course, you don't really give a fuck about.
No, I don't.
You don't really care for Benjamin Netanyahu, I agree.
Well, these are celebrities.
He could die, we wouldn't care. And of course, no. Buzz Aldrin, number 5 for him, which we do like Buzz Aldrin, but...
I don't care for him.
His 11s are showing. That means that
he looks a little senile.
If you know what your 11s are showing means, I give you lots of respect. You are old school. You are a legend here on the program. If you understand that obscure reference, then my God, you have won the internet. And of course, number 4, Meghan Markle, which of course you don't really care for. And number 3, the Pope, which we could both agree
he's done.
He's done for.
I mean, that's a lot of us thinking he's going to go.
It's a lot of us thinking he might go. And number 2, Canelo Alvarez, the boxer.
I'm curious why he thought Meghan Markle was going to die, but okay.
I don't know either. He didn't list the reason, but I don't know.
She's 38.
Maybe he just really hates her.
Maybe he doesn't like her face.
Wishful thinking, right?
Yeah.
And his number 1 pick was actually Rush Limbaugh. My only pick from last year I got right was actually Don Imus.
That's one you got right?
That's the only one I got right last year.
Were you happy when... I'm just kidding.
Not really, because I don't dislike Don Imus at all.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the man.
Okay, out of all the ones that you picked, there has to be... So your number 1 pick is the one you really believe in?
Yeah.
Weinstein, okay.
I just think he might go this year.
Okay.
After all the drama.
I'm glad I picked Kirk Douglas
it's
for
possible.
number 1, because I think the odds are on my side.
The probability is quite high.
My wild card was actually Clint Eastwood.
My wild card was George Lucas.
Okay.
I think those are solid picks.
I think so too.
I think we did fantastic here tonight.
We did good.
Yeah, I think we both did fantastic. We both picked pretty reasonable characters.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we did great. Great this year.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what happens now.
Oh, God. Every day that goes by is going to be so exciting.
I know, every day I'm just going to be looking at the list.
I'm going to look at the trending topics.
I'm going to send myself a book.
Oh, God. What kind of book do you send?
Well, anything from... Well, I find out what they like, and then I look back at the books I have, and maybe I'll send them a book from an author they like, or something along those lines.
Do you send them a signed, a card with your autograph?
Someone wanted me to do that. I didn't want to,
serious?
but I did do it for them. Just one person asked.
I have autographs from you.
That's true.
Yes.
That's right. But they did request that, if you can believe it.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's kind of, it's a little unusual for me to be doing that, but, it's cool.
Was it the guy that called in?
Negative. Much different person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, completely different person.
Aw. That's really sweet. That's actually really nice.
It is.
I love that.
It's a very nice thing to do. And Vanessa, that was amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We are going to end the show pretty soon here, but wasn't that fun?
I always have fun.
Did you have fun? I'm glad you did.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed the first half of the program, by the way. I know it was a little bit different.
He was chatty.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
He was having fun, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot to say.
He really did. He was very talkative, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to be, right?
Well, that's true. This is a talk show.
Oh my God. Your chat is getting crazy, so you know it's time to end the show.
I know. Once they start saying all this weird shit, it's kind of time to go once they start saying things like that.
Gang of 4, I'm cutting you off. No more drinks for you.
Yeah, when people start saying things like that, it's kind of you know, they're pretty much done.
They're cute though. They're nice. I like them.
I guess so. I wouldn't know. But Vanessa, I do want to thank you so much for being a part of the program as well. It's been fun. I had a great time with you. I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Yeah.
My God, it was a great time. Celebrity Death Pool, I mean, it never gets old.
Never. That's until next year.
I know, isn't that sad?
Can I come on next year?
Well, of course, you're sort of like the honorary guest here every time we do that.
Aw, yay. So I'll see you guys in 2021.
I know. Well, you'll be back here.
But I'll be back before that, I hope. But 2021, for sure, I'll be here.
For sure. You'll be here, and we'll do this again. And yes, Vanessa, thank you so much for being a part of the program. Any final words before I cut you loose?
No, that's it. Okay. Good night.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanessa, and I'll talk to you again on the other side.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. And there she goes, boys and girls. That was the one and only Vanessa. She did draw assignment here to help us bring in Celebrity Death Pool. And of course, I do want to thank all of you for being a part of the program. Oh, yes. And of course, as we take it home here tonight and pull this Larry Silverstein style, definitely want to thank all of you out there, the international listeners, and of course, those in the chat room. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed this year's Celebrity Death Pool. Hopefully, your picks come to fruition. My God. What a show that was. And I do want to thank Mr. Nigel Kerner for coming in here and spending some time with all of us. And of course, if you enjoy the program and want to help fund the program, there is a donation button over at michaeldecon.com. Any amount is fine with me. And of course, Patreon. That is the new thing. That's where you can find bonus content of the program. Now that it is 2020, you can expect a whole shitload of content over at Patreon. Remember, that's patreon.com/Michael Decon. Patreon.com/Michael Decon. That is if you enjoy the show and want extra bonus content. And I swear to God, it is worth it. It's fun and it is beautiful. And it will bring the children together, I promise. I really do. My God, folks. 2020. I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to that. I really don't think I ever will. But yes, can you believe it? It is the year 2020. How time flies by. International listeners out there, thank you so much for your support yet again. Do we have a cosmic neighbor somewhere out there in the deep shadows of space? Does life exist out there? I have no clue, boys and girls. I really don't know. But regardless, I do wish you all well. And I hope you all stay safe no matter where you are. And all of you, everyone out there listening to this, I hope all goes well for you in 2020, no matter where you are on this island Earth. I'm Michael Decon, and with that said, the world is a mysterious place, and life itself is a mystery. Until next time, good night, everybody.